Armed color. The blade of Yukizu suddenly became pitch black. Cut across, the 3000-volt Thunderbird dissipated with a whine. Why don't you just use the most powerful moves, but to this extent, you will only be slapped in the face by me again and again. Enel's face was livid. Mortal, don't you know the price of provoking gods? Since you want to die, God will fulfill you. 200 million volts. Thor. Thunder and lightning erupted from Enel's body, and the terrifying aura shook the entire Qiwuhai. Angel Island, Konus house. Konus and his father had just returned home when they saw the overwhelming thunder and lightning. It's not good, those people must have offended the gods. Konus worried. Pagia patted Konus on the shoulder and comforted him. They insist on going, but we can't help it to persuade him. We all know the danger there, but outsiders always don't believe us. Hope they're okay. Konus prayed. Cute Street. A group of people with little white wings looked at the thunder sky at a loss, and even knelt down and begged for mercy. They didn't know what happened, but the gods must have been angry. In order not to be angered, they can only do what they can. Cloud Shinobi Village. The Sandia people entrenched here looked at the thunder that filled the sky with serious eyes. It's been a long time since anyone has made Enel so angry. Who is it? Vipa, is this an opportunity? Opportunity? I think it's more of a warning. With this level of power, how do we resist? Everyone was silent for a while. Then don't we resist? How is it possible? The stronger the enemy is, the more we have to persevere. So what about Thor? Enel is just a person, and sooner or later he will die of old age. What we have to do is to keep fighting. Apolado. Buggy was shocked when he saw Enel, who was as tall as a thunderbolt titan. Only Logia demon fruit power can create such a grand landscape so easily. Mortal. Do you know the gap between you and the power of the gods? Now if you kneel down and beg for mercy and swear allegiance to me, I can spare your life too. 4 priests died at once, and there were no one under him. If he can make a move with his wife, his future spokesperson will have more credibility. Of course, the death penalty can be avoided, but the living penalty cannot be escaped. Buggy and Robin have to suffer his thunderous wrath for at least 3 days and 3 nights before they can relieve his hatred. It's just that he thought too naively. I have to admit that this force is very strong and bluffing. But it is far from admirable. Buggy puts the knife away. Seeing this, Enel thought that Buggy was going to surrender and was proud of his strength, but found that Buggy suddenly disappeared in place. Predict future. In the future, Enel gets beaten up by Buggy for 5 minutes. Still inconceivable, the future has already happened. Buggy's knowledge locks onto him, so even if Enel sees the future, he can't dodge it. Armed color. God weeps. The fist hit Enel like a storm, making Enel howl, as if he wanted to make Enel cry. How is it possible? How can you hit me? What kind of power is this? No one answered him, and he was greeted with punch after punch. Damn it, bastard. Enel pressed against Buggy's fist and released the electricity violently. Just as he was about to erupt, Buggy punched him to death. The huge Thor's body was clutching its stomach as if constipated. Ghost cry. Charging Overlord fist. Da 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 da. The punches were fast, and Enel wanted to fight back countless times, but as soon as he had this idea, his brain was hit by unbearable pain. He didn't know how long he hadn't been hurt, and now he felt the pain again. Enel felt like he was going to die. A few minutes later, Enel was blown away by Buggy's punch, and the lightning all over his body was extinguished and he returned to his original appearance. He was in a mess and fell to the ground with scars. Lying there motionless, as if dead. But his mouth gasped to tell everyone that he wasn't dead yet. Buggy fell from the sky and came to Enel and praised, "You are better than Locke." Enel. Who is Locke doll? Use him to compare with the body of the body. I'm so pissed off. Mortal. Why can you hit my divine body? God body. Buggy felt funny. It's just the power of Logia devil fruit. Do you think you can be invincible if you are immune to physical damage? Enel was silent. He was thinking about what to do. Mortal. The purpose of your coming is for gold, right? As long as you let me go, I will give you inexhaustible gold. Your life is in my hands, and killing you is mine. Why should I give it to you? Buggy looked at Enel with a sneer. Enel frowned, a drop of cold sweat falling down. For the first time he felt fear, the fear of death. Then what do you want? You must have some other purpose for not killing me. As long as you tell me, I will fulfill all your wishes. So generous. Buggy teased. How about you entrust yourself to me? Be my subordinate. It is absolutely impossible for a god to be a subordinate of a mortal like you. Don't even think about it. Enel roared. Buggy raised his eyebrows. Enel has his own arrogance, and it is definitely not an easy thing to subdue him. In the last simulation, Enel was brought by his side without surrendering for 2 years. From this, it can be seen that he has almost no conditions to make Enel's heart beat. What Enel seeks is dominance. He wants to be the god of all. So how could he obey his orders? It can be said that Enel is too proud, but how can a strong man not be arrogant? Even some strong people are strong because of their arrogance. If Enel's arrogance penetrates deep into his bones, there is a high probability that Conqueror's Haki will be awakened in the future. As long as you follow me for 10 years, I can give you a piece of land in Qinghai that is not smaller than Baibaihi. How about it? Buggy asked again. Enel laughed loudly. The whole world is God's territory. Do I need you to reward me with the land of Qinghai? Stupid mortal, your nonsense is insulting and provoking God. Buggy. Who is talking nonsense? You don't really think you are strong, do you? You don't really think you can rule the world, do you? Angel Island. People watched the thunder stop and bowed down more respectfully. It was as if this very act of theirs appeased the wrath of the gods. Cloud Shinobi Village. Vipa looked at the silent thunder and said lightly, "Go back, that person is dead." The other Sandias shook their heads, thinking that there was no chance of a counterattack. It turned out that he was just looking for death. Apolado. Buggy carried Enel knocked out on his shoulders and headed for the depths of Shandora. He intends to give Enel another chance. If this simulation still fails to subdue Enel, then he will give up Enel completely. Although Thunder Fruit is powerful, it cannot be used by him, and he will not leave it to Enel. With no one to stop them, Buggy and Robin soon reached Shandora. This city made of gold is a sight to behold from afar. The golden flash directly flashed off Buggy's 24K titanium alloy dog eyes. A whole city of gold, what a huge fortune. And above this city, there is actually a golden spaceship parked. This is exactly the arc motto used by Enel to travel to infinity, moon. It's just that this arc is ugly enough. Buggy can't appreciate this kind of spaceship at all. Buggy threw Enel to the ground, and started to use the system to recharge the golden city. Robin watched the golden houses disappear in front of his eyes, and his eyes on Buggy changed from flatness at the beginning, to surprise, to shock, to unexplainable awe and fear. Spatial ability? He doesn't want to fit the whole city, does he? It was unbelievable, but things were happening before her eyes. The golden houses disappeared one by one, leaving some small golden furniture falling to the ground. About half an hour later, all the gold buildings including the palace were recharged by Buggy, leaving only a bunch of gold utensils scattered on the ground in the entire Shandora. These gold utensils are also worth a lot, and if you think about it all together, it will not be less than 10 billion Baileys. And Enel's arc, the remaining gold is estimated to be nearly 20 billion Baileys. Buggy left the 2 tens of billions of Baileys gold for his pirate group to run, which is enough for him. Looking at his balance, Buggy doesn't know how many zeros there are. I think there are trillions. An event simulation needs 320 million Baileys, and these balances are enough for Buggy to simulate more than 3,000 times. More than 3,000 simulations, One Piece World has already passed the level. System, simulated event, surrender Enel. Consume 320 million Baileys, start the simulation. You defeated Enel in Sky Island and captured him. You tried to persuade him to surrender, but was refused. Your son, Sky Island has gained a lot, and brought the spoils back to the pirates together with Enel. On the pirates, you tried to emotionalize Enel with the feelings among the crew, but you were ruthlessly ridiculed by the other party. Enel believes that people have no feelings, and the crew are only worthy of being his courtiers. You beat him up. One day, you let someone rob Enel on purpose, and then accidentally dropped him into the sea and fell into a crisis of death. You rescued him at a time of crisis and tried to influence Enel with pity, but Enel ignored him. Furious, you decide not to care about Enel's life any longer. 3 years later, During the War of the Five Emperors, you were worried that you would be betrayed by Enel during the war. Enel was persuaded to surrender for the last time, but Enel refused. You will kill Enel. The simulation is over, the recruitment failed. Random reward. Blackbeard's special constitution. This time the reward was caught off guard, and it felt like it had nothing to do with my simulation. Unless the enemy I have to face 3 years later is Blackbeard. Apart from other things, what Buggy wants most now is to integrate Blackbeard's constitution first. This is a body that can hold 2 devil fruits at the same time. In the next second, the fruit ability fusion was successful. Buggy's obvious feeling about his body is that his energy has become extremely strong, as if his soul has become 2 parts at once. Unlike Cavendish's, Cavendish has a dual personality. One personality will wake up when the other falls asleep. And Buggy is 2 souls are themselves. It is equivalent to adding a self. In addition to the changes in the soul, Buggy also feels that his constitution is stronger. The physical fitness of the Buggy he inherited would not be weak, and could even be considered strong. But there is a big gap with Whitebeard, Big Mom and others, but now that Blackbeard's constitution is integrated, Buggy feels that his constitution has risen a lot. Not to mention they are comparable to Whitebeard, but the gap is definitely not too big. Without the use of armed colors and conquerors on both sides, Buggy felt that at least he couldn't get punched. Isn't fusion exactly conjuring Blackbeard, but 1 + 1, Buggy thought. However, physical fitness is secondary. The most important thing now is that I can eat the second devil fruit. What should I choose for the second devil fruit? Shock fruit. Summit War does not know when it will start, but as a result of this simulation, Buggy found that the formation of the 5 emperors in the sea was delayed by 1 year. This made him have to think about whether the Summit War in a few months will be postponed, and if it is postponed, what will be the result. Buggy doesn't want to spend time waiting for a shock fruit, and his chop fruit isn't necessarily weaker than a shock fruit. My Buggy's Shatter It world would be worse than shock fruit's shocking tsunami? As for other paramecia, the door fruit is very strong, and the slow fruit also has a history. Bomb fruit, kilo fruit, lion fruit, transparent fruit, childlike fruit. These are all good, but most of the fruits need to be planned, and then you need a certain opportunity to get them. But I have a system. I can use the opportunity of event simulation to find devil fruit. Just have to figure out what devil fruit it is. There are not many fruits that can be selected in Logia at present, among which there are sand fruit, Mera fruit, heavy thunder fruit, swamp fruit, gas fruit, dark fruit, etc. Real and thunder fruit. Sand fruit needs to find a way to kill Clockadar of Impelled Down, and the benefits and risks are not directly proportional. And sand fruit wasn't Buggy's first choice for Logia devil fruit. FFLX pass. Mera fruit wants to kill Ace, which means offending Whitebeard. Thinking about the tragedy of Marine, Buggy also gave up. No need, just a Mera fruit. As for using Blackbeard to plan Mera fruit, Buggy felt that he couldn't wait. FFLX pass. Both snow fruit and gas fruit can go to Punk Hazard in New World to plan, but considering the trouble of killing them and then using event simulation to find them, Buggy also passed. Let's talk about the 2 Logias. It's absolutely impossible for Buggy to kill them silently. When Doflamingo comes to help, he may not be able to succeed. It's not that he can't beat Doflamingo, but that Doflamingo's strength and methods are not weak, and he may not be able to win 100% against the opponent. Doflamingo is not an idiot like Lock Doll, who throws sesame seeds and watermelons. Doflamingo has been constantly improving his own strength. If he masters the Conqueror's entanglement, he can fight the opponent at most 50-50. Marsh fruit is too expensive, pass. The whole body is sticky and there is no force, pass. Now Logia's choices are only thunder fruit and dark fruit. Unless Zone's devil fruit is a phantom beast, eating it will not improve the body much. Nika, 9 tails, Darudao, vampire. These 4 devil fruits are probably what phantom beasts can plan. 9 tails and Darudao, Buggy doesn't like it very much. Nika fruit. Forget it, the front is full of rubber. Buggy doesn't know what's so great about his body turning into split rubber. But as long as you think about it, it feels very ordinary. Bat fruit phantasmal beast vampire form. If you can get this fruit, it is also very good. It can keep your body in the best posture at any time, but it is not very helpful for combat. There is an ability that can create darkness at night, like dark fruit, but it can only be hidden. The ability of one's own body. After some thought, Buggy locked the following fruits. Paramecia. Lion fruit, barrier fruit, childlike fruit, time fruit, and lucky fruit. Logia. Dark fruit and thunder fruit zone, bat fruit. Phantom beast species, vampire form. Now a lion fruit, barrier fruit, time fruit, lucky fruit and thunder fruit are considered unowned. Thinking of this, Buggy glanced at Enel who was still sleeping beside him. He raised the knife and beheaded him. It cannot be used by him, and it is useless to keep it. Robin on the other side saw Buggy disappearing countless gold, and then fell into deep thought. And then, he seemed to think of something and killed Enel on one side. Silently stay away from Buggy, the current captain is so scary. Killed people out of nowhere, why? Could it be that Enel is specifically buried here? Or are you afraid that someone will leak the gold and kill people? If it's the former, then the Buggy is probably a pervert. If it's the latter, then she might be in danger too. Just when Robin was thinking wildly, Buggy suddenly turned his head. Robin's heart trembled. Could it be that, Robin, here is a piece of historical text, don't you want to read it? Go read it first, and come back to me after reading it. Huh, so this is the matter. Robin breathed a sigh of relief. What's wrong? Buggy asked concerned, seeing Robin's unnatural expression. Nothing. Robin shook his head, and turned to the history text. She may not have been able to find a piece of historical text in the past 10 years, but since she followed Buggy, she saw the second historical text in just a few days. Sure enough, as Captain Buggy my lucky star. The corner of Robin's mouth curled into a smile, looking very good looking. But Buggy, who is simulating the event at this time, has no time to appreciate it. System, simulated event, looking for thunder fruit. Consume 320 million, start the simulation. Enel is killed. You suspect that thunder fruit will reappear somewhere in Sky Island, so you bring all your subordinates to Sky Island to find thunder fruit. You spent half a year searching Sky Island, and finally found thunder fruit in Visalia, but it has been eaten by a meteorologist. Simulation ends, thunder fruit is successfully found. Random reward. Meteorological knowledge. There is no time to be speechless about rewards. The most important thing for him now is to find the thunder fruit reborn in Visalia. Robin, take a look first, I have something to leave, let's meet at Qiwuhai. Before Robin could respond, Buggy disappeared in the air. Robin hesitated to speak, she really wanted to say that she had finished translating. But that's all. Then go to Nami and the others first. Buggy stepped on the moonwalk quickly and returned to Konus's house in less than 10 minutes. Boom boom boom. Coming. Konus was still grieving over the death of Buggy and others at the hands of Enel, but he was a little absent-minded when he heard the knock on the door. But she was still angry and asked, who could it be? The door opens, it's you? Konus covered her mouth in shock, then seemed to react quickly and pulled Buggy into the room. You're not dead? Konus asked. Am I not going to live in front of you? Buggy couldn't laugh or cry. How did you get down? Konus asked again. Just kill Enel and his priests, Buggy said. You liar. How could you kill Enel? Where's your companion? Konus asked. She is still in a Payado, and she has some things to do. I am in a hurry to go to Visalia, so I left first. Tell me how to get to Visalia. Buggy's explanation sounds to Konus that Buggy abandoned his companions and escaped alone. Konus hesitated to speak, wanted to criticize Buggy, but didn't know how to say it. After hesitating for a while, he still pointed out the way to Visalia for Buggy, and left it alone. Visalia is very close to Qiwuhai, but it may be far away in a few days. Because Visalia is different from other islands in the sky, it can move. Recently, I happened to fly to Buggy near the Qiwuhai Sea to find it. After crossing half of the Qiwuhai Sea, Buggy finally found a slowly moving island. There is a circular rainbow over the island, and the piled-up sea clouds carry patches of soil. What's even more amazing is that there is actually a huge bubble underneath. Thunder fruit is on this island. Buggy covers the whole island with the color of knowledge, finds out all the fruit-shaped objects on the island, and then finds them one by one. The people of Sky Island in Visalia are a little curious about Buggy's arrival. Some people tried to say hello, but Buggy ignored them. Buggy seemed to be looking for something in Visalia aimlessly. A sharp-eyed person noticed that Buggy had been rummaging through different fruits, so he asked thoughtfully, "Are you hungry? If you are hungry, you can eat those fruits." But Buggy still ignored him, just looking for fruits one by one. Not long after, Buggy found a blue fruit with lightning patterns in the fruit boxes of every family. Found it. "Young man, is this what you were looking for? Strange, I don't know when I picked such a fruit back. Since you want it, I will give it to you." Looking at the bearded old man in front of him, he probably was the one who ate the fruit in the simulation. "Thanks." Buggy dropped a piece of gold. "For free." Before he could finish speaking, Buggy had disappeared in place. Looking at the place where Buggy disappeared, the old man shook his head with his hands behind his back. Young people these days are really impetuous. Why? Pick up that piece of gold, is that fruit so valuable? Although he had a premonition that he was at a loss, the old man didn't care. These old guys living in Visalia are interested in technology and meteorology, and they have long turned their backs on treasures and so on. No desire, no need, live freely. After getting the thunder fruit, Buggy didn't eat it immediately. He went back to a peyado to put the remaining gold utensils into the ark, and then went to the White Sea to find Nami, and they went back to Magic Valley Town first. White Sea Robin and Koka sat on the shore watching Nami and Anna play in the Sea of Clouds. At this time, there was a huge shrimp, a huge crab, and a huge octopus on the shore. These are the trophies of Anna and the others, and they plan to take them back to Jhin and make them into delicacies. "Sister Robin, come down and play together. You can take a bath with the cloud." While talking, Anna touched the soap on her body, as if she was promoting her own products. Robin smiled and refused. "No, I don't want to take a shower here." Oh, Anna was a little disappointed. Although the soap made by Anna's ability is very suitable for bathing, not many people buy it. The reason is simple. Anna's ability can only last for 3 days, and sometimes even a piece of soap is only enough for one use. Disposable consumables up to 5,000 Baileys. Assuming that you take a bath once a day, it will be 150,000 Peleys a month, and 1.8 million Peleys a year. Who can stand this? Then calculate how many people are on board Buggy, because there are more than 2,000 people. Counting 2,000 people, one person is 1.8 million per year, and the Buggy pirates spend 3.6 billion Baileys a year in the shower. Who can afford this? It seems that you guys are having a good time. Buggy dropped from the sky holding the golden ark, which caught the eyes of Nami and Anna for a moment. "Golden spaceship? Real or fake?" Nami excitedly said. Looking at the two people whose eyes were almost turning into Bailey, Buggy couldn't laugh or cry. "Of course it's true, can it be fake? We got rich." Nami and Anna embraced each other excitedly, as if the golden spaceship had become their property. "Let's go back," Buggy said, and suddenly saw 3 huge seafood. "Captain, let's take these back and make them delicious for punt," Anna said. Buggy smiled wryly. "What about such a big guy? It's not that he can't lift it, it's just that he still needs to lift the golden boat with one hand, and the other hand can't hold the 3 big guys." "I think I have a way, Captain." Robin stood up and said. "You have a way? 30 round flowers, bundle." Robin made the flower hands, and only 1,000 hands appeared to bind them together. "In this way, Captain, you only need to grab one of them and you can fly down with 3 of them." Robin laughed. "Great." Buggy gave Robin a thumbs up. "Sister Robin is amazing." Anna and Nami come out from the Sea of Clouds, both in their underwear. Underwear wraps their undeveloped figures, but still has a strong visual impact on Buggy. "Calm down. Start in 3 years, the maximum death penalty. Why can't you think about it?" When Anna and Nami got dressed, Buggy loaded them into the golden ark with a pile of gold. Inevitably, Nami and Anna started stealing of their own. They stuffed their pockets full of gold, and took Koka and Robin to pack it together. While Koka and Robin don't care, it's okay to help Nami and Anna pretend a little too. Buggy stands on the edge of the White Sea, holding the golden ark in his left hand, and jumping off with 3 huge seafood in his right hand. Buggy's captain's suit was blown upside down by the strong wind, and the muscles on his face were wrinkled by the wind, as if they were twitching. After a while, when Buggy was about to fall into the sea, Buggy suddenly stepped into the air and stopped. After finding the direction of Magic Valley Town, leave on moonwalk. Magic Valley, the original place where pirates gathered and hustle and bustle, is now dead silent. Because there are too many pirates entrenched in Magic Valley Town, both Jhin and Mr. One feel that it is necessary to kill some, in order to prevent them from rebelling after waking up. After all, Buggy isn't here now, and they alone can't deter this group of guys. Especially among these guys there are quite a few guys with a reward of more than 40 million. If these guys start a rebellion, they'll probably die a lot. The hand that killed them, Duan Yi, would not be too cruel. Half of them were thrown into the sea, and the other half were directly hacked to death. Those who were drowned usually filled half of the sea, and those who were hacked to death stained half of Demon Valley Town with blood. It is precisely because of this that when Buggy and the others came back, they saw Bellamy and the others who were trembling in the corner with only about 100 people alive. Those who survived were rewarded. The captain said that they can exchange the bounty pirates with Bailey, and because they are valuable, they can live. Captain, where are you going? Get back a golden spaceship this big? Wow, is this real gold? The crew members, including the cadres, surrounded this huge golden spaceship in amazement. They did not expect to see such a huge amount of gold in their lifetime. There are many golden treasures in the golden boat. My God. This is not a dream, is it? Hey, you hit me to see if I'm dreaming? Damn it, you really beat me. It hurts so much, it doesn't look like a dream. Ha 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 ha. Look at you who have never seen the world. Stop talking bullshit. Put down your gold before you say that. I don't. I have never seen so much gold in my life. I want to take this opportunity to get closer to gold. By the way, where did the captain get so much gold? Could it be that he found Roger's big secret treasure? Ha ha ha, doesn't that mean that the captain is now the new One Piece? Then we are the crew of One Piece. Ha 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 ha. Looking at the subordinates who seemed to be crazy, Buggy silently scolded them for being ignorant in his heart. What a big deal, isn't it 10 billion Bailey's gold? Why are you so excited? Looking at the balance of his own system, Buggy couldn't suppress the joy in his heart. This is the big head. Captain, you didn't really find Roger's big secret treasure, did you? Agent couldn't help asking. How is it possible? These things are all on Sky Island. Sky Island? Are there really islands in the sky? Naturally, there are clouds in the sky called sea clouds that can support people and soil to float on them. There are also Sky Island people on it, and some people who were originally in Qinghai exist. Jhin and the others were amazed again and again. Sure enough, the world is big, full of wonders. There are islands in the sky, inhabited by people, but what about the underground? What about the sea? Could there really be murlocs and dwarves? Legendaries about various human beings appeared in everyone's minds, and they had a little more expectation for the adventure on the sea. Maybe one day they will meet people and things they can't even imagine. I heard that there is a blue ocean that gathers all kinds of ingredients from all over the world. I don't know if it is true. Captain, we found a total of 230 million Baileys and some low-value weapons and equipment in Magic Valley Town. Huh. There are at least a dozen pirate groups entrenched in Magic Valley Town. Why is there so little money? Although Buggy knew that the harvest would not be too much, he was still a little surprised. 230 million is actually not a small amount, but it is indeed a harvest in the entire Magic Valley Town. Captain, we have nothing to hide. I know, I'm just a little surprised. One pirate group is poor, but I didn't expect a dozen pirate groups to be poor. In fact, it's normal to think about it carefully. These pirates in Magic Valley Town are all guys who have no dreams and just dawdle all day long. Doflamingo came to this town before becoming a Shicibukai. Over the past 10 years, the people in this small town are still those people, without any change. How much money can a group of guys who have been lying in Magic Valley Town for more than 10 years have? Where are Bellamy and the others? Tie up in the square over there, Mr. 5. They look at them. Take me there. The gold is in hand, now it's time to contact the buyer. Magic Valley Town Square. A group of embarrassed pirates with fear in their eyes are curling up together and trembling. Seeing Buggy approaching, none of them dare to look at Buggy. Carefully peeking at it, as if facing some prehistoric beast, afraid that one look would be noticed by the other party and kill him. Bellamy. Find a guy in the crowd who is no different from anyone else except for his looks. Buggy was very disappointed. He felt that Bellamy's potential was stronger than Miss Christmas, and it was similar to Mr. 5. I'm Bellamy. Bellamy stood up tremblingly and said, "Can you contact Doflamingo? Give me his phone bug signal and I can let you live." The others immediately looked at Bellamy enviously. At first, Bellamy became Doflamingo's subordinate outside. Unexpectedly, he saved his life at a critical moment. Without hesitation, Bellamy pulled out her phone bug and shared the channel with Buggy's phone. Blue blue, blue blue, I'm Doflamingo, who is that? It's me, Buggy, Doflamingo. Oh? Buggy? She. What can I do for you? Without asking how Buggy got his phone bug signal, he's only interested in what's behind. The newly promoted Shicibukai will definitely not come to provoke if he wants to get his phone bug, it is probably to talk about cooperation. Doflamingo appreciates Buggy very much and is looking forward to this cooperation. I have a batch of gold here, I don't know if you can eat it. Oh? Gold? Doflamingo was a little disappointed, he thought Buggy was here to buy arms. He heard that Buggy has expanded 2,000 people in Alabasta. Wouldn't these 2,000 people buy 1,000 guns and go back to increase their combat power? How many? Around 100 tons. What? Doflamingo on the other end of the phone stood up in surprise. Torabole next to him was taken aback. What's wrong with Dover? Doflamingo ignored him, preoccupied with the call bug from Buggy. Are you sure you have so much gold? If you lie to me, even if you are Shicibukai, I will not let you go. Doflamingo sneered. If there are so many, you can come and see, I'm in Magic Valley Town now. Buggy said lightly. Okay. See you in 3 hours. Hanging up the phone, Doflamingo got up and pulled the cord to fly away. If this kind of big deal is real, he must personally discuss it. As for letting the subordinates go together, it's too slow. You must know that Doflamingo is not the only one who can eat this batch of gold in the sea. He was afraid that if he waited too long, Buggy would change his mind. And if this business is settled, it will be a trivial matter for him to earn 1,800,000,000 Baileys. Interest drives people's hearts. After Buggy received Doflamingo and would arrive in 3 hours, he threw the phone bug to Robin beside him. You can go, Bellamy. Buggy said flatly, then turned to leave. Wait. Bellamy asked bravely, is Doflamingo coming? Buggy stopped and looked at Bellamy, who seemed to be licking a dog, expressionless. Will come. If you want to wait for him here, I don't care. Of course, I can tell you very clearly, go, you still have a way to survive. Stay, you will die. With Doflamingo's temperament, he would not show mercy when he saw a pirate like Bellamy hanging around outside with his flag. Bellamy had been fooling around on the island before, and he didn't make any mistakes, so Doflamingo didn't bother to come here to clean up this moth that took up his banner. Now he is defeated, even in the hands of pirates like Buggy. But losing is an excuse, and Doflamingo found an excuse to clean up the moths. Bellamy naturally didn't know what Buggy meant, he only heard that Doflamingo was coming and fantasized that Doflamingo would take him away to Doris Rosa. Back at the gold boat, Buggy said to everyone, the next 3 days of banquets will be regarded as a celebration banquet for us to get so much gold. Great. Long live the captain. Long live the banquet. I'll gulp down the wine and gulp down the meat. We have wine and meat, but unfortunately there are no women. If you want a woman to get off the boat and find a common woman to marry, don't mess around on the captain's boat. The women on the boat are all untouchables, so don't seek death. I'm just joking. How dare you, hee hee. We have only held 2 banquets on this ship for about 10 days. It is right to join this pirate group. Having fun and having fun every day, isn't this more comfortable than when you were a spy in Alabasta? Everyone likes the atmosphere and benefits of the Buggy pirates. If they were raised by the pirates for the sake of a few women, they would really want to cry without tears. Of course, that's mostly because Buggy doesn't have a simple woman on board. Nami is Buggy's queen navigator, and is highly valued by Buggy. Alvida is the captain of a ship. Coca is powerful. Robin, Miss. Valentine, Miss. Christmas, and Miss. Double Finger are capable users. Miss. Golden Week and Anna are children, and they both have their own abilities. There were 2 or 3 other women, but none of them were common. For example, Miss. Friday, 5 big and 3 thick, although she is a woman, she is more manly than a man. Take a baseball bat, a stick can blow your head off. There are only a few women in the pirate group of more than 2,000 people, and none of them are common people. Those who cannot get the favor of excellent women can only become craftsmen, or join the team of Mr. Point 2. Transvestites do not need the opposite sex to comfort their lonely souls. After giving orders to the crew, Buggy returns to his captain's cabin. It will be 3 hours before Doflamingo arrives, and he intends to simulate other events that need to be simulated before then. Better to know if you want to eat thunderfruit before then. In Buggy's mind, thunderfruit is naturally one of the most powerful fruits. It's just that Buggy is a little tangled, and I always feel that a few devil fruits can be placed between them. It seems that there are many powerful devil fruits waiting for him to choose, and it is impossible for him to eat anyone just because there is one. This is the same as choosing a woman. If there are many beauties who are interested in you, and one of them is already in love with you, will you resolutely choose the beauty who admires you, or first find a reason for yourself to reject all other beauties, and then choose this beauty who admires you? 423. I think unless you are particularly fond of the beautiful woman who admires you, you should hesitate to choose anyone. Buggy now chooses the second devil fruit with the same psychology. System: simulate events, look for lion fruit. Consume 320 million Baileys, start the simulation. Because Golden Lion died in East Blue, so you go back to East Blue and start looking for lion fruit. After half a year, you still haven't found lion fruit in East Blue, and you start to doubt whether lion fruit is in East Blue. After another half a year, you began to suspect that the lion fruit was not on the surface, so you sent people to search for it in the sea. A year later, you find out on the news that someone got a lion fruit. Simulation ends, lion fruit is found successfully. Random reward: Shimotsuki Koshiro's swordsmanship experience. Lion fruit pass. The simulation did not explain where the lion fruit went, only that someone got the lion fruit 2 years later. This person's system didn't explain, and he didn't know when the lion fruit was eaten. There is no way, this fruit is destined to miss him. As for rewards, he usually uses a sword, but he still chooses to use an axe in a big battle. Moreover, his swordsmanship has already reached the level of a great swordsman, and Koshiro's swordsmanship experience is of little help to him. Another 320 million was wasted, but Qiwuhai felt distressed. A system that simulates events looking for barrier fruit. Consume 320 million Baileys, start the simulation. You guessed that the barrier fruit was in Rogtown, so you went back to Rogtown to find the barrier fruit. 1 month later, you returned to Rogtown and found that the barrier fruit had been eaten by Bartolomeo. The simulation is over, and the barrier fruit has been successfully found. Random reward: Conqueror's level +1, short simulation. Buggy didn't expect Bartolomeo to eat the barrier fruit so quickly. Okay, another one was passed. But this time the reward is good, Conqueror's level +1. Buggy felt that his mental power had increased by a large amount, which was comparable to adding a few points to common simulated all selected mental power. Doesn't seem to make money. System: simulation captures the fruit of childlike fun. Consume 320 million Baileys, start the simulation. You cooperate with Doflamingo to gain the trust of the other party. A few months later, you landed on the island of Doris Rosa and found an opportunity to kill the sugar. Doflamingo was angry and wanted to kill you. You fought in Doris Rosa. During the battle, Kaido attacked and teamed up with Doflamingo to defeat you and seriously injured you. You escaped by chance, but all of your men died. After this battle, you are depressed, but you still pay attention to the movement of Tongchu fruit, but it no longer appears in your sight. 10 years later, you will die in depression, and you have not found the fruit of childhood fun in your life. The simulation is over, the event simulation failed, and the childlike fruit was not successfully captured. Random rewards: None. If you fail, you were defeated. Event simulation rewards. None. Lost another 300 million Baileys for nothing. No rewards. A bit distressed. I didn't expect the event simulation to fail, and the result of failure is no reward. After a little hesitation, Buggy chose to continue the simulation. The simulation is over. The event simulation failed, and you have not found the time fruit. Random rewards. None. There is no trace of the fruit of time, or it may have been eaten by someone, but you don't know. So Buggy has searched for a lifetime but has not found any trace of this fruit. Losing another 320 million in vain, I feel a little distressed. Then continue to pursue the victory. System, simulated events, looking for the lucky fruit. Consume 320 million Baileys and start simulating events. You go to the New World Golden City, expecting to find traces of lucky fruits, but you find nothing. You told Gilder Tetsolo that you can buy lucky fruit with gold, and Gilder Tetsolo said he would help you pay attention. You proposed cooperation to Doflamingo again, looking for lucky fruit. 2 years later, you will spend double the price of gold to get lucky fruit from Gilder Tetsolo. The simulation is over. The event simulation is successful, and you have found the lucky fruit. Random reward. Lucky fruit. Today I am really happy and sad. First, the system indicated that there would be no reward for failure of the simulation, and then told Buggy that if it succeeds, there is a chance to get devil fruit. This is an incredible thing, because this means that as long as there is more money, Buggy can get countless unowned devil fruits. Of course, it all depends on how much money you have. The event has been simulated less than 10 times so far, and the success rate is actually not too low. According to the amount he can simulate more than 3,000 times, Buggy thinks he can get at least 300 devil fruits. Of course, this is only in theory. No one knows how low the possibility of devil fruit appearing. Looking at the lucky fruit on the left hand, and the thunder fruit on the right hand, Buggy admitted that he hesitated. Lucky fruit may not be as powerful as thunder fruit, but after awakening, it is definitely a kind of ability to hang the sky. Maybe you can seek good luck and avoid bad luck. Stand still and let the sea hit you and you won't die. After careful consideration, Buggy put both lucky fruit and thunder fruit in the safe. There are other options. I will simulate it again. Anyway, I have already captured the hearts of 2 women, so it doesn't matter what other women think of me. It's not that I can't wait. This is what Buggy really thinks in his heart at this moment. It's scum, but the scum is very enviable. System, simulate the event, take the dark fruit. Consume 320 million, start the simulation. You found the trace of Blackbeard and wanted to kill Blackbeard before he grew up, but you failed. The opponent's strength is not weaker than yours. The same is true several times after that. Although you killed his crew, you still couldn't kill Blackbeard. A few years later, you took advantage of the Blackbeard Pirates' war with the Red Hair Pirates to attack Blackbeard, and at the cost of minor injuries, you killed Blackbeard. Years later, you have been looking for dark fruit, and when you found it, it had been eaten. You killed that person again, but every time after that you missed dark fruit. The simulation is over. The simulation event failed, and you have not won the dark fruit. Random reward. None. Blackbeard is more dangerous and powerful than Buggy imagined. Unexpectedly, even Admiral's strength can't kill Blackbeard. Lucky? Buggy thought about that lucky fruit again. This fruit is really exciting. He's Buggy, unlucky. Shaking his head, there's one last fruit to simulate. Thought about it, and Buggy gave up again. Blackbeard is so hard to kill, let alone the Red Earl. Except for Luffy, a guy with stronger luck, I am afraid that no one can kill them. Turn around and come to the safe. Lucky fruit? Thunder fruit? After thinking for a long time, Buggy finally made a decision. Pick up one of the devil fruits and take a bite. Vomit. Although he is already a capable user, it is indeed the first time he has eaten shit. 3 hours passed quietly. A man pulls a colored thread and falls from the sky, landing on the Golden Island in Magic Valley Town. Doflamingo looked at the huge golden ark, and the greed and disbelief in his eyes could not be suppressed. He really wanted to kill everyone here and transport the golden ark back. But the man who was walking slowly not far away told him, no. Seeing Buggy wearing a red coat and a red captain's cap, Doflamingo smiled. Buggy. Where did you get such a big golden spaceship? You won't tell me you built it yourself? Buggy said lightly. Why, you want to find out where you got it, and get one yourself. Doflamingo looked at Buggy with an evil smile, but said nothing. I'm a pirate, so of course I snatched this golden flying boat. How about it, can I eat it? If I can't eat it, I will go to Gilder Tetsulo. The price he will give must be the highest in the entire Grand Line. Doflamingo raised an eyebrow. He didn't expect that Buggy also knew the Golden Emperor of New World, so it seemed difficult to lower the price. Hey 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 hey. I can eat it naturally. I'll give you 15 billion Baileys. 3 billion Baileys. Your asking price is a bit too high. It's far beyond the value of your golden ark. Doflamingo took the opportunity to release Conquerors to test Buggy. But Buggy instantly counterpresses Doflamingo's Conquerors with a more powerful Conquerors. The two Conquerors confronted in the void and dissipated. Although the surrounding Buggy crew members were not affected by the Conquerors of the two, they still had some palpitations. It was as if he was being targeted by something terrifying just now. What's going on? Is the captain taking on this strange man? He can compete with the captain of the Conquerors. This man is terrible. Jhin and the others thought in their hearts. Doflamingo looks at Buggy, and Buggy looks at Doflamingo. Both of them were expressionless, as if nothing happened just now. The golden ark is filled with all kinds of gold utensils. It's not just gold on the outside. It's gold inside and out, said Buggy. 17.5 billion Baileys. Doflamingo thought for a while and gave the reserve price in his heart. 2 billion Baileys. If you can buy it, buy it. If you can't buy it, I'll find Gilder Tetsulo. Seeing the captain of his family and the man in the flamingo coat in front of him talking about a big deal of 20 billion. The crew adored their captain even more. At the same time, some people who are not familiar with Doflamingo are also curious about the identity of the man in the flamingo pink feather coat. Could it be the boss of the dark forces? The crew will have a banquet soon, and there is no time to entertain guests. We pay with one hand and deliver with one hand, and I'll wait for you here. Of course, you can try to call Kaido to grab my batch of gold and see if he can do it. Buggy is full of confidence in his words, and of course he will not threaten Doflamingo with just a few words. He knew that Doflamingo might really let Kaido grab the gold, so he waved his hand and the sky was filled with thunder and lightning. The space is broken. This is a warning and a threat. The captain's strength seems to be even more terrifying. Why is there lightning and thunder in the sky? Could it be that the captain's strength can already change the color of the sky? Doflamingo no longer had the laughing look just now, and his whole face became serious. He doesn't know how Buggy did it, but the power that caused this level is definitely not under his awakening full blast. In other words, you don't have to be Buggy's opponent. Some were taken aback by Buggy's strength, but after a while they were laughing again. If Kaido knows this news, he won't give me a single point. And I value a partner like you more than gold. I've checked your news. You used to be a companion of the red-haired Shanks, a member of the pirate King Roger's ship, lurking in East Blue for more than 10 years. Blah, 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 blah. Unspeakable ambition. For the position of One Piece? For these people's conjectures, Buggy is very helpless. Why did the original Buggy hide in East Blue for more than 10 years? Could he not know? I simply feel that East Blue is a mess. People don't ask for fame or power. The only hobby is looking for financial reports, and East Blue just happens to have treasures. Why did you send Buggy to the Grand Line? If you ask him to be the One Piece, he won't go, unless there is treasure. It's nothing, I just want to pull any 4 emperors down, Buggy said lightly. Pull any 4 emperors to step down. Shi ha 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 ha. Doflamingo's smile gradually perverted. Pulling any 4 emperors down at random seems to be not as high as One Piece's revenge, but it matches the confident look of the mid-term. Just like how easy it is to defeat a 4 emperors. How insane. How exciting. I'm very interested in your ambition, and I can cooperate with you if I have the opportunity. Chat, chat, chat. After speaking, Doflamingo grabbed the clouds in the sky and drifted away. In fact, Doflamingo also wants to be the king of New World. But his strength and influence are not strong enough. and one-on-one with the Four Emperors group is simply courting death. It is precisely because of this that he has always been inferior to Marine and Kaido. He believes that as long as more than 10 years pass, he will definitely have the throne of the sea in the New World. But if you combine Buggy, Doflamingo thinks this time can be brought forward. The premise is that they can cooperate. Everyone was surprised by the way Doflamingo pulled Yunyan away. Originally, when Doflamingo fell from the sky, they didn't see it clearly, but now they discovered the method of the other parties falling from the sky. He even pulled the clouds in the sky, and then left like a swing. This guy really played with string fruit. Buggy couldn't help sighing. Compared with Doflamingo's talent, his development of chop fruit is still too shallow. But in which direction can chop fruit be developed? Buggy has no clue. Maybe thinking about it for a while in the simulation will have a special idea. But the banquet will start soon. Let's end the matter of developing the fruit first. Looking at the corner of Magic Valley Town, Bellamy was slumped to the ground in a daze. Doflamingo came and went in a hurry, never remembering that he had a younger brother in East Blue. And Bellamy didn't expect Doflamingo to appear so quickly and leave in such a hurry. He didn't even have time to call out Lord Doflamingo, and he left. You still have time to go now, I will keep my word. Buggy said something to Bellamy, turned her head and left. Bellamy looked at Buggy's figure, then slowly got up and walked towards the port. He's going to find Doflamingo in Doris Rosa in his own boat. Buggy doesn't know what Bellamy's thinking. If you know it, you will definitely feel helpless. After being forgotten and survived, you still have to send yourself to your door to find your own death. Why bother? The banquet started on time, and the whole Magic Valley town became lively again. More than 2,000 people sang and danced, drank and ate meat at the mushroom station, playing and blowing. 3 days later, as if exhausted after indulgence, everyone in the Buggy Pirates fell asleep in every corner of Magic Valley Town. They didn't even notice the sun was hitting them, but they were warm and wanted to turn over and continue to sleep. Tom Belling, several of Buggy's favorite subordinates maintained their daily routines. Kabaji and Ajin got up early to exercise. Mochi fed his ferocious beast early, and chatted with Berlis and the others. Nami waters the orange tree with a water bottle, and occasionally picks 2 oranges to taste. Keka held the knife alone and looked at the newborn son in the distance, wondering what he was thinking. Anna is used to sleeping late, wearing a cute bear pajamas, hugging the quilt and breathing with a big mouth, with snot bubbles hanging from her nose. Buggy sat on the top of the Tom Belling, looking at the farthest scenery, and Robin sat beside him to enjoy the scenery without chatting. Suddenly, Buggy looked down at the busy Nami. Robin, I have a devil fruit here, do you want to give it to Nami or Kabaji? Devil fruit. Robin didn't know when Buggy got a devil fruit, but he still thought about it seriously and said. Nami is a navigator who usually doesn't need to participate in battles. Although he occasionally needs to protect himself, this is an imminent matter. It's Kabaji who works hard every day. In order not to slow down his training non-stop, he needs this devil fruit that can make him stronger. Robin gave a very pertinent suggestion, and in fact Buggy thought so too. But the lucky fruit. This is not a fruit suitable for battle. But the ability of this devil fruit is not suitable for fighting, or it is not strong enough to improve the fighting ability, and it is more than enough to protect itself, said Buggy. Robin asked curiously, what kind of house is it? Paramecia, lucky fruit. Lucky fruit? Eating this fruit will make people lucky. I am a little bit excited about this kind of fruit, but unfortunately I have already eaten devil fruit. Robin said disappointedly. Thinking of what happened to Robin, I am afraid that this life can be described as unlucky. The ability of the lucky fruit is to plunder other people's luck and store it in oneself. As long as the person with the ability still has luck, everything will be lucky, Buggy said. Then what if you meet a top expert and want to kill him? Robin asked curiously. It depends on how much luck is stored. If there is enough luck, even Admiral can't kill a powerless lucky fruit user. Buggy laughed. It's getting more and more exciting. Robin also smiled. Well, considering the applicability of this fruit, I think it can be given to Nami. Well, then give it to Nami, Buggy said and jumped onto the deck. Nami, come to my bedroom. Nami, who was taking care of the orange tree, was startled by this statement. Could it be that the captain finally couldn't bear it? I knew that the captain forced me to board the ship not only for my sailing skills, but also for my body. Now that I'm acquainted, my nature is exposed. But I can't refuse, my life. The lives of everyone in Kokocha village were saved by Buggy. She owes a huge debt to Buggy. Even if Buggy wanted her to pay, she couldn't refuse. After a little hesitation, Nami put down the tools and walked into the cabin. The others didn't think much of it. Everyone on board knew that Buggy liked Robin. Now that Robin has not been brought into the house yet, how could the captain eat Nami with such a hunger? The captain told Nami to go to the bedroom must be something serious, right? It was almost time to sail after all. Standing outside Buggy's bedroom door, Nami was a little nervous. She pulled the collar to make it easier to see the scenery on her chest. But suddenly thought of something. Nami tucked the neckline again. Am I doing this too casually, too deliberately? Nami's nervousness didn't ease, and she finally knocked on the door. Boom boom boom. Please come in. Pushed open the door, walked into Buggy's bedroom, and saw Buggy tinkering with her safe. Is there something hidden in the safe? What if the captain plays pervert? Do you want to reject him? While Nami was thinking wildly, Buggy opened the safe and took out a devil fruit from it. This is for you. Buggy put the devil fruit on the table and said calmly. God. Nami covered her mouth. At this moment, what Nami was thinking was not. It turned out that Captain Buggy only wanted to give me a devil fruit, so he asked me to come to the bedroom. I misunderstood him. Rather, the captain wants to exchange devil fruit for my body? I heard that one of the most common devil fruits is also worth hundreds of millions, 100 million per night. It seems to be possible? Nami thought so and unbuttoned Shikai's own clothes. Buggy. Battle? What are you doing? Buggy felt that Nami should be thinking about it. Looking at Buggy's innocent eyes, Nami finally realized that he was thinking too much. I blushed instantly. How could I immediately think that the captain had unreasonable thoughts on me? Obviously the captain is so selfless, he just wants to lick me, not my body. Putting away her blushing, Nami slapped her hands nonchalantly. Ah, it's so hot. Buggy pretended not to notice Nami's poor acting skills, and then gave the devil fruit to Nami. Eat it. This fruit will help you protect yourself better, Buggy said. Nami caught the devil fruit and didn't eat it right away. She wouldn't really think that Buggy was here to lick her. Why give it to me? It would be more appropriate to give it to Kabaji or Ajin. They are fighters, and this fruit can enhance his ability to survive. This fruit isn't for them, it's more for non-combatants, Buggy explained. Similar to Anna's soap fruit? Nami thought to himself. In Nami's view, although Anna's soap fruit has a certain ability to smash people, it does not actually enhance Anna's combat ability. So Nami guessed something like this. Looking at Buggy's eyes, Nami thought about it and ate it. Since the captain said so, then this fruit is definitely not suitable for Ajin and Kabaji. She pretended to accept Buggy's statement with peace of mind. Ah. Why is it so unpalatable? Nami complained speechlessly. Just one bite is enough, Buggy said. After taking a bite, Nami threw the rest of the devil fruit into the trash can in distaste. She swears that she has never eaten such an unpalatable thing in her life. This devil fruit is even scarier than Punt's soap dark cuisine. How is it? Have you felt your ability? Nami swayed her body, but didn't feel anything special. His body didn't get better, his strength didn't get stronger, and he couldn't conjure strange things like Anna did. But it seems that I can rob others of something? Nami looked at Buggy. His eyes gradually became malicious. Captain, why don't you let me try the fruit ability? Gone. Leaving the captain's cabin resentfully, and coming to the deck to look at those lovely colleagues, Nami showed a terrible smile. As a companion, it is not too much to help a companion to test the fruit ability, right? Nami. Why are you touching me? Mochi, who was talking with Burris, became her first target. Aha, it's nothing, I just bumped into it by accident, good luck. After saying that, Nami ran away in a hurry. Mochi looked at Nami's back with a strange face. Strange, does she like me? Impossible. When Mochi was thinking wildly, he didn't realize that the iron cage that originally held Bolas was not locked. In the next second, Burlis rushed out of the iron cage and hit Mochi with a huge rhino horn. Ah! Mochi screamed and was knocked into the sea. Others looked over one after another, not knowing what happened. How did that idiot Moki release Boris? Kabaji couldn't help complaining, and jumped into the sea to save Chi, who couldn't swim in the sea. Burris looked at the others. Niche the lion cub who eats and waits to die. Shameless hunter Klein. Mean woman Nami. The big bad thing Anna. The mysterious woman Robin. Terrible man. Akin. When it met Jin's eyes, it was scared, and obediently ran back to sleep in the iron cage. It's just not happy to see Moki, an idiot who babbles every day. It's definitely not unhappy to see you. Seeing that the matter did not develop further, Jhin turned his head to continue training, when suddenly Nami touched him. Ajin, your muscles are so strong. I'm going to train, please stay away from me. There is no woman in my heart, and I am a natural god when I practice. As a strong man, Jhin will never fall under the pomegranate skirt of a woman. Nami doesn't mind Jin's indifference, she's not here to strike up a conversation. Ajin didn't look at Nami at all, turned around and picked up the barbell to continue exercising. But the next second the barbell suddenly broke and hit his foot. He turned his head and looked at Nami, who was walking towards the others. Although there is no evidence, he feels that this matter should be related to Nami. Prank? Jhin thought, silently complaining about childishness. Jhin bent down and picked up the broken barbell. Then the pie of the barbell slipped and hit his foot. Although Nami has been far away from Jhin, she has been secretly observing Jhin. Sure enough, people who are absorbed by her luck will become very unlucky. Mochi was knocked into the air by Burris, and Jhin was hit by a barbell. And I seem to be lucky again. My ability seems to be very suitable for going to the casino. Nami's eyes lit up, and she walked towards Anna. Sister Nami. Why do I feel that you seem to be different? Anna rubbed her sleepy eyes and said. What's different? Nami looked himself up and down. Clothes have not changed, hairstyle has not changed, Giorgio is still white and smooth. He looked down and saw two balls standing tall. Oh. It turned out to be bigger, I said it's different. Anna looked at her little Yimapengchuan's chest and touched it. Anyway, I feel a little bit, not too bad, not too bad. Anna comforted herself. Nami, what ability have you acquired? Koka, who has been watching, already guessed that Nami ate the devil fruit. After all, Nami entered Buggy's room and walked out again. It can't be Buggy, right? Maybe I should have extended it by saying, Nami walked into Buggy's room and walked out. Appears to respect the captain more. Sister Nami, have you eaten devil fruit? What ability have you gained? Anna was surprised for a moment. At the same time, I was a little worried in my heart. Don't give Sister Nami a devil fruit ability that can be sold for money. Anna's business has been bad recently, and she doesn't want a competitor to appear. Even selling things that have nothing to do with her products. Because except for the captain, everyone on the ship is considered a poor ghost. Many of them simply couldn't afford Anna's stuff. The devil fruit I eat is the lucky fruit of paramecia. I can make myself lucky and make others unlucky by plundering other people's luck. Koka thought of the unlucky Moki and Ajin just now. This fruit is quite buggy. If this plundered the luck of a whole boat, wouldn't it be wiped out in minutes? Sister Nami is amazing. Can you give Anna some luck with your fruit? Anna wants to be lucky. Anna's eyes sparkled with anticipation. No, I can't give luck to others. I can only plunder other people's luck. Nami shook his head. Oh. Anna was a little disappointed. She wants to be a lucky Anna, but now it seems only lucky Nami. Seeing Anna's sadness, Koka said, the fruit can be developed. Maybe it will be possible in the future if it doesn't work now. Nami also said, yes, when I develop the ability of the fruit, let's be the lucky three sisters. Hee hee. The three lucky sisters? Isn't that going to plunder the luck of many people? Anna narrowed her eyes and said. In her mind, she had already fantasized about the unlucky appearance of a large number of people. Definitely a bad kid. You can't always plunder the luck of the crew, Koka reminded. She worried that too many people on board with bad luck would lead to unsolvable troubles. I know, I just got the fruit ability, so I just wanted to make a joke. Usually, I definitely don't plunder the luck of my companions. Nami laughed. At this moment, Anna rolled her eyes, and a bad idea came to her mind. Aren't there more than 100 prisoners on the island? Let's go and plunder their luck. Good idea. Nami was in a good mood, and pulled the two sisters away. Kabaji, who just came up with mochi on his back, looked at the three of them getting off the boat excitedly, and he was a little confused. Did they want to do something to those more than 100 prisoners just now? It doesn't matter. Let's send the idiot Mochi back to rest. He drank a lot of water, so he probably doesn't have to eat dinner. A fleet of ships is approaching not far from the waters of Magic Valley Town. There are 3 people standing on the bow of the boat looking into the distance. One is wearing a pink feather coat, one person is wearing a blue mosquito repellent cotton padded jacket. One in golden armor, Doflamingo, Torre Pole, Seika. The main 3 members of the Don Quixote family are here. Dover, I saw Magic Valley Town, Torable said. It's surprising that this Shicibukai Buggy can get so much gold. I said it's better for us to kill him and take the gold, Dover. The world government won't trouble us for 220 billion gold. Hey. Do you think I don't want to, Torable? That guy's strength is not inferior to mine, Doflamingo said with a strange smile. His newly promoted Shicibukai is not weaker than Dover, Seika exclaimed in a sharp voice. He's not a new Shicibukai from common, Buggy. This guy is a guy from my generation. It's just that he's so stoic that he didn't go out to sea until recently, Doflamingo said. Toripal interjected. Nah, Lokdar is also holding back, in order to plot Alabasta's throne, but he seems to be defeated by Buggy before he succeeds. K. Lok just endured it, his strength has not kept up, it is normal to be defeated. Klo is the reason that it makes me understand that it is not enough for Guangyin to endure, and my own strength is the foundation of success. Soon, their ship finally approached the town of Magic Valley. The outline of the huge golden arc can be seen from a long distance. Nain, Dover, can we earn 2 billion by reselling this golden arc? Torable said excitedly. 2 billion? Doflamingo sneered. I have a way to earn 5 billion. 5 billion, almost equal to the income it has earned from selling arms for several years. This is a real big profit. It is precisely because of making money like this that Doflamingo personally came to Magic Valley Town again. Tom Belling, Buggy saw Doflamingo's group approaching slowly. He had the decks opened, ready to take over with Doflamingo's boat. The 2 boats slowly approached, and Buggy and Doflamingo met face to face again. Doflamingo leapt over, his shoes clattering on the deck. Come to pay? Buggy said flatly. Ha, I can't worry about a big business worth 20 billion yuan. Doflamingo said with a strange smile. At this time, the ship was connected, and Torable and his subordinates brought over a box of Bailey, stacking 40 large boxes. The box. Open it, you can see Bailey, and the air smells like money. After simply checking a few boxes and confirming that there is no problem, I did not order them one by one. He believed that Doflamingo would not dare to play such tricks. Otherwise, he will definitely destroy de Res Rosa, which he has worked so hard for many years. Agent, send a box to each of Mr. 1, and put the rest into the warehouse. It's the captain. The ark is yours now, Doflamingo, you can transport it away. Buggy said lightly. It's going to be a bit of a hassle to get a guy that big back to de Res Rosa, Doflamingo said. Buggy walked to his chair and sat down, said lightly. That's none of my business, I don't have after-sales service here. Besides, didn't your dozen or so ships come to watch the Golden Ark or start a war? Hey, he's not here to start a war. Doflamingo turned around and told Torable and the others to deal with the Ark. He walked up to Buggy by himself, and sat down in the chair where the white thread instantly weaved the sun. You can earn hundreds of millions a year just by making clothes, Buggy said lightly. Doflamingo smiled strangely, ignoring Buggy's taunt. Cha-cha-cha-cha-cha, are you interested in cooperating? Cooperation for what? Tear down a 4 emperors, and we'll take his place. Buggy turned to look at Doflamingo, surprised but expressionless. Not yet. Buggy said flatly. Didn't you think it would be easy to take down a 4 emperors 3 days ago? Why don't you dare to do it now? Doflamingo asked forcefully. Whether you can and whether you want to or not are 2 different things. If I say it's not the time, then I won't do anything to them. Buggy still said calmly. I didn't say to do it now. Doflamingo seemed to be thinking for a while, and asked, "What about 2 years from now? If you take down a 4 emperors, Kaido will not be on your side, and your business will collapse if you can't deal with him. You're not like me, you can't leave de Res Rosa, where your heart is. If Kaido attacks at that time, how will you deal with him? I don't think you have the strength to fight Kaido. Hey. Don't worry, I'm pretty sure Kaido won't do anything to us. He even wants us to kill one of the 4 emperors and make the sea chaotic." Doflamingo is right. Kaido really wanted to confuse the sea, otherwise he wouldn't have stopped Shanks when Whitebeard attacked naval headquarters. Only when the sea becomes chaotic can he launch a world-class war. He will be the final victor in this battle, the new One Piece. And Kaido is not really out of his mind to find trouble around. Relying on his immortality, he tested the power of all parties again and again. The purpose is to take the lead in intelligence in future world wars. Whoever is strong and who is weak, break down one by one. Well, even if you want to overthrow a 4 emperors as you said, who is this person? Redhead Shanks. Who? Shanks. Don't you know he was my former companion? 273. Hey. People like you still care about this? Don't you know how good we were when we were on Roger's boat? He's my brother, dear friend. Doflamingo looked at Buggy as if he had misread the person. A careerist who is bound by emotion can't achieve great things. At this time Buggy said, "You leave the golden boat, and I can fight Shanks with you." 20 billion for Buggy's shot. Doflamingo wouldn't have made the deal even in a twitch. Not to mention whether Buggy will really make a full shot. Even if Buggy will, then he will let Buggy go. After all, this guy and Hongfa are siblings, dear relatives and friends. Dover, it's done. At this time, Sekka had already used his ability to tie the huge golden boat behind more than a dozen ships, ready to leave at any time. She. Since you don't have this sincerity, then forget it. Doflamingo got up, tied the golden boat with multicolored thread, and flew away. When Doflamingo's fleet was gone, Nico Robin came out from the cabin. Coming to Buggy, she looks at Doflamingo in the direction they left and says, "He's up to no good." "Of course I know, and I never wanted to cooperate with him," Buggy said lightly. Buggy really didn't want to cooperate with Doflamingo. After all, this guy is more insidious than anyone else, and working with him is undoubtedly seeking skin from a tiger. He didn't want to be tricked out of nowhere, and he didn't want to become emperor so soon. Even after 2 years, it still depends on the situation. Killing a 4 emperors forcefully to become the new 4 emperors is cool, but it will greatly damage one's own power. It's unheard of for Luffy to fight with Kaido and Big Mom, but it's difficult for one side to get support from all sides. What's even more outrageous is that after the entire Wano Kuni War is over, how many districts are dead on the Straw Hat Crew side? Just a handful. Kinemon dies and dies, but never dies. Kanjuro was killed as soon as he opened the door. He was resurrected directly, and then Shui Zhong was killed again. And Leopard Guro, Frankie, Nami, it's like wandering between life and death. Leopard Guro exhausted his life to gain combat power, but survived. How many times have Frankie and Nami bumped into Big Mom? What's more, Frankie ran over someone's face with a motorcycle. Just like that, Big Mom actually tolerated it because of Xiaoyu's relationship? Is this the 4 emperors who destroyed the island at every turn? This is clearly an NPC that has been given the buff of not being able to kill the protagonist group. Buggy does not have the ability to apply non-kill buffs to enemies. So forcefully kill 4 emperors? Not necessarily, not necessary. Why do I have the identity of Shicibukai now, so I can hang around for a day? As long as his subordinates grow up and the 4 emperors are in chaos, his powerful strength and influence will naturally occupy a corner of New World. In Magic Valley Town, Nami emptied the luck of more than 100 pirates. So you can see more than 100 pirates so unlucky. One pirate stepped on another pirate's foot, another pirate screamed and knocked down another pirate. That pirate knocked down another pirate, and everyone became irritable and fought each other for no reason. Then everyone got into a fight, and in the end everyone was wounded, and 2 idiots were killed. Because they are captives, even if Mr. 5 sees them fighting, there is no movement at all. On the contrary, it is fun to watch. Anyway, the price of dead pirates and live pirates is the same. After finally waiting for them to finish playing, Mr. 5 bounced the booger that he had been holding on for a long time to the square. Boom. A loud noise, a huge explosion directly caused the subsidence. The pirates all fell down with a scream. Looking at the pirates in the pit, Mr. 5 clicked his tongue twice. He swears that he really didn't do it on purpose. No one knows that the Tofu Dregs project in this square will collapse as soon as it is blown up. This level of depth shouldn't kill anyone, right? Mr. 5 continued to hold his booger, and joked, forget it, it's the same whether it's dead or alive. After all, another piece of booger was bombed in, and the life inside would be worse than death. What a bunch of unlucky people. Back on the ship, Nami and others are testing the fighting ability of the Nami fruit, and his opponent is Kaba. Buggy and others sat not far away with great interest, eating snacks, waiting for Kabaji to be abused. Are you ready? Kabaji asked seriously. He already knew that Nami's fruit ability could not provide her with any strength improvement. So Kabaji still told Nami to be careful before the battle. And his heart still can't believe that Nami's luck can be used to fight. Don't worry, it will surprise you, Nami said with his arms akimbo. Mochi sat on Lakey. Anna lay on the big soap board. Koka sat on the side thinking. Jhin also put down his training to witness the fruitful performance of this companion. Kabaji, don't lose, or you will become the weakest man on our ship. Don't be wordy, if you have the ability, you don't need to fight with your beast. The battle started, and Kabaji quickly approached Nami with a knife. But Nami remained motionless, with a confident smile on his face, as if Kabaji's attack would definitely miss him. At this time, Buggy was staring at the two fighting intently, but he didn't notice that he accidentally ate a fruit core. A sense of throat blockage appeared in his throat, so he subconsciously vomited. The core flew out and hit Kabaji, knocking him into the air. Everyone looked at Buggy in unison, as if asking what you were doing. Buggy scratched the back of his head in embarrassment, and said, I said I didn't do it on purpose, do you believe me? The fight continues. Kabaji glanced at Buggy resentfully. He didn't believe that the captain said, unintentional, must be the captain secretly helping Nami. But he won't say it out loud. People know the world, you have to understand the world. If you offend the captain, if there is another devil fruit in the future, maybe it will not be your turn. Kabaji continued to rush towards Nami this time, but at a much slower speed. Jhin and the others noticed his obvious appearance of about to release water, and shook his head slightly. What is the point of such a fight? Kabaji stepped on his right foot with his left foot and fell to the ground. The long knife flew up into the sky, almost piercing his head. A drop of cold sweat fell from his forehead, because of the thrill. Captain, let me go. Akin said to Buggy. Go ahead, let Kabaji down, he's ashamed. Buggy joked with a smile. He. So Uncle Kabaji is so weak, Anna said with a smile. Although what you said is correct, Kabaji is not as weak as you think, Koka said. Then why is he so stupid? He can fall down 15 times a step. Anna's face was full of curiosity. Because. An accident, Koka said in a deep voice. If it is really what she imagined, this fruit can create unlimited accidents in battle, then this fruit is a bit powerful and terrifying. Accident. Anna was still puzzled, but Jhin was about to start a fight with Nami, so she didn't continue to ask. Jhin shot but didn't hold back at all, shave. In just a split second, Jhin appeared behind Nami. The iron crutch in his hand hit the back of Nami's head. But just at this moment, Nami nodded his head in a strange way, avoiding the attack just in time. Akin frowned. Coincidence? Turn the direction of the iron crutch, and hit Nami's neck vertically downward. But it seems that the deck has just been cleaned and some are too slippery. Nami slipped directly and kicked Jhin directly after falling, interrupting his attack. A kick caught off guard. Even Nami's insignificant strength is enough to make Jhin take a step back. Jhin raised his eyebrows again, and raised his kick to kick Nami. A seabird flew by and dropped its droppings on his lap. At this time, Nami had already got up. Huh? Where's Jhin? Behind you, Nami, Anna reminded. Nami turned around, saw Jhin's terrifying face, and ran back in fright. Jhin wanted to catch up, but suddenly the deck cracked, and his feet sank in. Immediately afterwards, the sea suddenly set off a wave and knocked him down heavily. Boom. Jhin fell heavily on the deck, and his head fell to the ground with a clear sound. Confirm the sound, it is a good head. Do you think Jhin will make such a mistake? Buggy stared at Jhin intently, and asked the others. I just said that it's not that I'm too weak, it's the result of Nami's fruit ability. Kabaji tried to explain something to his buddy Mochi, but Mochi greeted him with even more mocking words. Whether Nami's fruit ability is strong or not has nothing to do with whether you are weak or not. Because no matter what Nami's fruit ability is, you are weak. Accept your fate, Kabaji. Mochi stared at Kabaji with a pitiful expression. Kabaji rested his hand quietly on the handle of the knife. He really wanted to kill this idiot with one knife. But thinking of so many years of feelings, he endured it. Jhin, do you still want to fight? Buggy teased. Jhin pulled his feet out of the hole in the deck, staring at the hole in a daze. The deck usually won't crack no matter how many times I pound it with heavy barbells. Why did it crack when I stepped on it lightly today? Eyes looking at Buggy in the distance, is it the captain? Impossible. Since this is the discussion of the crew, the captain will not secretly play tricks. No need. Could it really be the ability of Nami's fruit? There is a high probability that the enemy who attacks him will be unlucky, which is a bit unsolvable. Maybe Ding defeats Nami only with stronger power, or consumes Nami's luck. It's just that Nami seems to have absorbed all the luck of the more than 100 captives in Magic Valley just now. No more fights. Jhin said lightly, and then left on his own. Buggy smiled and got up to leave. The fight was so comical that it didn't even show any level. But the meaning is that Nami has a deeper understanding of his fruit ability. People who use the fruit of luck must have one trait, that is self-confidence. You believe that you are lucky enough, and you also believe that the other party can't beat you. Then gracefully defeat the opponent with very nonsensical means. Don't look at Jhin as still intact now, but as long as he continues to fight Nami. The ship Buggy is probably not enough for Nami's luck. The next day, they finally decided to leave Magic Valley Town. A group of people prepared supplies and loaded all the harvest in Magic Valley Town on the pirate ship. Looking at the free drinks, some crew members couldn't help saying, if there are more pirate towns like this, we won't need to spend money to buy supplies in the future. Hey, we used to be bounty hunters, but now we are pirates and still work as bounty hunters. A pirate escorted more than 100 pirates with bounties onto the ship. Catch more than 100 bounty damage casually, which is much easier than we were in Barlock before. Not only that, I heard that every captain is allocated 1 billion Bailey's funds. 1 billion Bailey. Our captain sold that golden arc to Doflamingo of Shicibukai, so the Baileys were given to us captains of Barlock. To be able to get so much, I thought even if I sold a lot of money, it would all belong to Captain Buggy. What does this fully explain? Our captain regards money as dung. Our captain doesn't care about money at all. If the first batch of people who followed Buggy heard his subordinates talking about him like this, they would definitely scoff. Buggy doesn't care about money. That's how rich this kid is. If he has no money, can he share 1 billion with you? 100,000 Baileys is a luxury. This is especially felt by Alvida's fleet. They have been making money to support themselves all the way. The point is that Buggy also doesn't allow looting of civilians, which makes it harder for them who are not rich. Sure enough, it's right to follow Captain Buggy, and I swear allegiance to Captain Buggy to the death. Hey, when you were about to become a pirate, you all persuaded M.1 to set up their own company. At that time, everyone was not familiar with this new boss. Who would have thought that our new boss would be so generous and rich? Yes, and it's good for us. We've only been pirates for a few days. We drink and eat meat almost every day. 0 risk, high return. It's better than working as a clerical job for the world government. Ha 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 ha, it's the first time I heard that being a pirate is better than being an official of the world government. That's true. Why did our captain treat us well? The pirates of Barlock smiled at each other and got busy. They should cherish their time on this ship and work hard to repay the captain's welfare. An uninhabited island, Half of the flames are monstrous, and the other half of the dark sky. An incomparably terrifying battle broke out between the two top powerhouses here. Great Flame Ring. Yan Emperor. Thief ha 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 ha, the Dark Cave. The two finally collided with each other, and the island sounded like it was on the verge of collapse. After a while, the battle is over. Half of this uninhabited island was burned and no weeds grew, and the other half was swallowed up. The uninhabited island, which was originally full of vitality, is now like a ghost island, with no life at all. Look at the two sides at war on the island. A man with a stubble, a missing tooth, and a ferocious expression sat on the ground panting. Another lean and muscular man, Madara with a tit on his face, fell to the ground and didn't know whether he was alive or dead. Seeing Ace defeated by himself, Blackbeard finally couldn't help laughing. Thief ha 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 ha, Captain Ace, in the end, I won. Times will change under my guidance. Thief ha 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 ha. Ace's powerful flame was restrained by Blackbeard's devouring ability. All the flames were swallowed up, even himself. He is now in a coma, precisely because he entered Blackbeard's dark cave and was released. In the dark, Ace's abilities are nowhere to be seen, no light to be seen, no oxygen to be heard. Anyone who is sucked in will lose half their life to come out. Blackbeard's companions, who had returned to the island, came walking loosely. Captain, what should we do with him? Kill him? Asked the sniper Van Oka. No, it's still useful to keep him. Blackbeard grinned. He originally wanted to recruit Ace into the group. After all, Ace is very strong and has great potential. If Ace joins, with the current strength of Blackbeard's pirate group, Ace is only under him. Fully worthy of the position of deputy captain. But Ace refused. If he refused, Ace is the enemy and the prisoner. Captives in Ace are also useful, so give them to Marine. Blackbeard wants to do big things, but first has to get a Shicibukai identity. Now Shicibukai is full, so he has to find a way to make Shicibukai have another spot vacant. The closest Shicibukai from here is Moria. That guy fought Kaido before and got away with it. It's hard to deal with. Blackbeard was lost in thought. Just then, a newspaper gull flew down. It waved a copy of the news, and seemed to be asking Blackbeard on the island if they wanted a copy. The Blackbeards were clearly taken aback by the daring newspaper gull and stared blankly at it. This island just ended a world-shattering war. Aren't you scared of newspaper delivery gulls at all? Are you so dedicated? If this isn't a newspaper delivery gull, I'm sure I'll bring it in, thought Blackbeard. Lafayette, give it your money, buy a copy, and see what's been going on at sea lately. I have a hunch that something big will happen in Magic Valley Town. Thieves ha 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 ha. Lafayette raised his top hat and took out Bailey, and took a newspaper from the newspaper delivery gull in a very gentlemanly manner. He opened the newspaper and was shocked by the headlines immediately. Captain, you are right. If we continue to stay in Magic Valley Town, we might be in trouble. Lafayette sighed. What happened? Lafayette. Badgers always looked confident and smiling. The Buggy pirates went on a killing spree in Magic Valley Town. Of the more than 2,000 pirates entrenched in Magic Valley Town, half of them were drowned in the sea, and half of them were killed by spectacle and dyed most of Magic Valley Town red. There are others with bounties were taken to Marine Base and exchanged for bounties. Only one pirate named Bellamy escaped in the entire Demon Valley Town. Anyone can escape. Teach was interested at first, but then showed disappointment. Bellamy? I have an impression of that guy. He doesn't have that ability. There must be some other reason to escape. Blackbeard also wanted to attract people in Magic Valley Town. But those people in Magic Valley Town at that time really had no dreams or ambitions. For example, Bellamy, who is considered the strongest by the pirates in Magic Valley Town, is definitely stronger than Badger's, but he would rather choose Badger's. Because Badger's ambition, although it is a stupid ambition, is 10,000 times stronger than Bellamy's. Of course, and most importantly, Badger's absolutely respects and adores himself. It can be said that Badger's is his most loyal little brother. It's really impossible for that stupid and reckless guy to escape from a pirate like Buggy. Lafayette pinched his hat and echoed with a smile. Where do we go if we keep going? Teach asked Lafayette. The capital of Seven Waters. Lafayette replied. Go around. That Buggy is not easy, we'd better not run into him now, Teach said. Lafayette took out the few remaining permanent pointers and looked at them. Captain, if we want to bypass there, we may need to jump to several other routes, which will prolong the time we need to reach Sabodi Archipelago. Teach looked at Lafayette and taught. Sabodi Archipelago is not our goal, it is not time for us to enter the New World. What we need to do now is to make our name and let more powerful and ambitious tsunamis join us pirates. In Teach's view, as long as the pirate group is strong enough, it doesn't matter whether they are loyal or not. He only needs that small group of people to be loyal to him, and other people only need to have power and provide him with power. Anyone who is stronger than him can take his captain position. Of course, in Teach's plan, no one has a chance to take his captain position. Whitebeard's shock fruit he wants to get. Blackbeard and his gang packed their bags and embarked on a new journey. At this time, Buggy and his gang also left Magic Valley Town and headed towards the capital of Seven Waters. Straw Hat Crew left Alabasta after a week of special training and headed for Sky Island in Legendary. Dream Trip sets sail. New World Islands. Shanks frowned slightly as he watched the latest report on Buggy. Ever since Buggy hit the newspapers again, he hasn't stopped paying attention to his old friend for a moment. From a little-known little pirate in East Blue, to suddenly becoming famous in the sea and being offered a reward of 100 million, to being offered a reward of 300 million when he first entered New World, and then becoming a new Shicibukai. Everything indicated that his former companion was somewhat different from before. It's not that I don't believe in Buggy's strength, but his style is too different from the Buggy he used to get along with every day. Judging from the information I have received in the past few months, it seems to be showing one thing, that is, Buggy is a man with a deep heart. But in Shank's impression, Buggy is a very pure pirate. A pirate who is only interested in financial reports. Have I misjudged the wrong person for so many years? Shanks scratched his head and looked out to sea, as if expecting Buggy to come and meet him sooner. He should treat him to a drink, no matter how badly he deceived himself. A few days later, the capital of Seven Waters. Dozens of pirate ships from the Buggy pirates sailed into this city of water. The huge group of pirate ships caused countless people in the Seven Waters to look on sideways. The people on the Buggy pirates stood upright, scanning the people in the capital of Seven Waters with proud eyes. As expected of Shichibukai's fleet, this momentum is completely unmatched by other pirate groups. They won't plunder the capital of Seven Waters, will they? Someone worried. There are quite a few Marines stationed around here, and they won't mess around. Although Shichibukai has the right to plunder legally, they won't plunder civilians wherever there are Marines. Right? I heard that these Shichibukai only plunder pirates? Nonsense. My relatives in East Blue were robbed by Buggy sea thieves. Your relative is a pirate? F***KU. Your relatives are pirates, and your whole family are pirates. The pirate ships slowly approached the shore, and the captains of each ship stood at the forefront of the deck. 1. Tom Baring, Captain Buggy. 2. Aaron Green, Captain Mr. L. Was Burness. 3. Seathorn, Captain Miss. Double Finger, Zala. 4. The Pink Swan, Captain Mr. 2, Bentham. 5. Golden Week, Captain Miss. Golden Week, Marianu. 6. Gentleman Black Tea, Captain Mr. 3, Mr. 3. 7. Gopher, Captain Miss. Merry Christmas, Dorothy. 8. Sausage Dog, Captain Mr. 4, Beb. 9. Superbomb, Captain Mr. 5, Mr. 5. 10. Floating, Captain Miss. Valentine, Makita. 11. The Love Swan, Captain Alvita. 11 captains of the Buggy pirates. But after the new ship of Seven Water Capital is built, Buggy will change the situation of too many captains and scattered crew. First of all, considering the captain's problem, everyone in the original Pakistan lock wanted to continue the ship with his previous partner. So after the new ship is built, the people of Barlock will be merged together in the mode of captain and mate. For example, Mr. 1 and Miss. Double Finger will be arranged on the same ship, and Mr. 3 and Miss. Golden Week will continue to be on the same ship. While enhancing the combat power of a single pirate ship group, it also reduces the cost of building a pirate ship. Renovating 11 ships and 7 ships can save at least 400 million in expenses. Secondly, we must consider the problem of the common crew. Buggy plans to change the original pirate ship of more than 100 or more than 200 people into a pirate ship of more than 300 or more than 400 people. So the new pirate ship should be practical enough for Yamato. In this way, the strength of each pirate ship under Buggy is definitely much stronger than most of the common pirates in the first half of the Grand Line. As long as the captain's strength grows, then every pirate ship under Buggy will be a powerful pirate group with a strength of 100 million. Such a pirate fleet is not too big compared to Whitebeard, but it is not too small either. In New World, a pirate ship rules an island, and it is no problem to occupy 5 or 6 islands. Finally, the pirate ship completely landed. The captains of each ship went on their own without Buggy saying hello. The common crew left in 2s and 3s to drink at the bar. The periphery of the entire Seven Waters system is occupied by members of the Buggy Pirates. Buggy took Jhin to Carrera, the largest shipbuilding company in the capital of Seven Waters, to discuss the construction of new ships. Mochi and Kabaji guarding the boat, Nami and Anna go shopping. Because Buggy told her that there is CP9 in the city of Seven Waters, Robin is alone in the room reading a book. She doesn't want to trouble Buggy with licking. Even if Buggy likes her, but now that he has just become a Shicibukai, he may not necessarily fight against the world government for her because of his ambition. At most, Buggy let her escape, but the latter may not be able to continue to protect her. She seems to be getting to know Buggy more and more, so she's getting to know things better. Buggy is a good captain. Here she doesn't feel threatened, doesn't feel scared. Although she is not naturally happy, at least she feels safe and secure. The streets of the capital of Seven Waters, Buggy and Akin are looking for the position of Carrera Company. The two children hid in the dark and stared at them maliciously. After a while, the two looked at each other and ran out with a smile. The two seemed to bump into Buggy and Jhin vaguely. Pass by. Both teenagers showed expressions of success, but in the next second they were caught by Jhin with both hands. Hand it over. The light tone and indifferent expression frightened Heck and Mike, who originally wanted to argue a few words. The two tremblingly handed over the wallets they dropped in. Jhin threw the two of them on the ground, put away his wallet, and handed the other wallet to Buggy. He pulled out his gun from his waist, looked at the two, and asked Buggy, "Captain, why return it?" Although the Buggy pirates don't kill civilians, they can still be killed if the other party acts unfriendly towards them. And Heck and Mike have obviously stepped into the gate of hell with one foot. Buggy looked at the two trembling teenagers, and they hugged each other even more frightened. "Don't kill us, we were wrong. We will never do it again. Yes, please, this is our first time stealing, and we will never do it again." The two begged for mercy with snot and tears. Buggy perceives them with knowledge at this time, and the two are obviously lying. Saying it won't be perfunctory, it's absolutely impossible to keep them from stealing things. The first time was also a deception. The two of them were very skilled in their craftsmanship, obviously not something that a person who steals for the first time can do. Looking at the two, Buggy said calmly, "Sooner or later, people like you will fall into the hands of others and be killed by others. Rather than being killed by others after being convicted of a crime, it is better." Bang! Bang! 2 shots were fired, and one finger of the two teenagers was broken each. Bleeding. Ah! Heck and Mike cried bitterly, covering their hands. "I will teach you a lesson this time. I hope you will really change. Otherwise you will die at the hands of others sooner or later, unless you are very strong. Stronger." Buggy didn't say, because the two kids didn't have that talent and power zone. They are just 2 extras who want to die. If you don't die at their hands today, you have to die at the hands of others. Be an honest person of common, and if you are lucky, you can live for a few more years. 2 teenagers around the age of 12 had their fingers broken by Buggy. Blood soaked the ground, but no one came to blame Buggy for the 2 teenagers. One is fear, they dare not accuse Buggy at all. The second is that the 2 teenagers are really hateful, they are not as simple as stealing things in common. Heck and Mike are delinquent teenagers living in the back streets of Shudu. They are 12 years old in Class 5, Grade 6 of Shudu Primary School. During the 6 years, They were tutored 620 times and destroyed 997 pieces of glass in the school building. They used cowfish to race cars and rob supermarkets, and it's not an exaggeration to treat them as two little pirates. After Buggy and the others walked away, an old man said, "Call someone to inform their teacher. Let them come and take these two little bastards for treatment. They are messing around every day, and now they have offended people who shouldn't be offended. They were lucky to die." 023. Yeah. I actually stole something from Shichibukai's head. I really don't know if it's courage or no brains. Dark corner. A man wearing only underwear stared at Buggy's back, wondering what he was thinking. Carrera corporate headquarters. Buggy and Jhin walked in and met a woman in black silk business attire, Khalifa. Khalifa saw the two people walking forward immediately, pushed his glasses and asked very professionally, "Hi, I am Khalifa, the secretary of Carrera Company President Ace Bagu. May I ask you to come to Carrera? Is the company building ships or repairing ships?" "I want to modify 7 pirate ships," said Buggy. 7 ships? Khalifa was a little surprised. "PLZ, follow me. For such a big deal, it is too casual to only make a verbal agreement at the front desk. Moreover, this kind of matter is not something her secretary can decide. It is best to call Ace Bagu to discuss it." Khalifa greeted Buggy and they came to Ace Bagu's office and made them a cup of coffee. "Wait a second, our president will be here soon." Khalifa laughed. Buggy nodded, but he didn't want to drink coffee at all. Khalifa noticed that Buggy did not move his mouth, so he asked, "Is the coffee not to your liking? We still have a lot of snacks and tea here. I wonder if you have any taste preferences?" "Don't bother, I just don't want to drink," Buggy said. Khalifa looked at Jhin again, and Jhin also said, "I don't want to drink either." "Okay. Wait a minute, those two." Khalifa's professional smile did not change because of the unfriendliness of Buggy and Jhin. After a while, Sparta walked in. As soon as he entered the door, he saw Buggy and Jhin. Eyes on Khalifa. From Khalifa's small facial movements, he knew that the two of Buggy must be a big customer. He walked to his seat with a smile on his face. "I don't know what the two of you want." 6 ships need enough space, equipped with more than 30-second gate guns, the best power, preferably dual power, and strong battery life. Equipped with 3 large storage rooms, one for storing sundries, one for storing fuel resources, one for storing weapons. There must be room for at least 100 crew members, not too small for 4 people to live in. It will also be equipped with 3 large bathrooms, 2 large dining rooms, and a large kitchen for at least 10 chefs to cook. For some other special requirements, I will let the captain of each ship chat with your boatman. In addition to these 6 ships, I also need you to help me build a ship that is bigger than the other 6 ships. This ship does not need too many crew rooms. Use the extra space to build cages with separate areas, 5 large storage rooms, an area for planting trees, a library, and a training room with various training props. I have an idea for the shape design, take a look." Buggy gave the sketches he drew to Ace Bagu. On the picture is a picture of a weird clown who can't see clearly. The outer body of the boat is in pink tone with various patterns. Ignoring Buggy's terrible drawing skills, this ship is still very uniquely drawn. Ace Bagu looked at the picture, looked at Buggy, and said several times, "I will try my best to perfect your idea. So what is your ideal price? According to your request, such a ship needs at least 30 million shells. Take one. 100 million Baileys. The price of each of the 6 ships is around 100 million. Use the best materials for me, don't worry about money. The boat I designed, I can only say that there is no upper limit. I use the best wood, I want the best boatman, and I want the best material." Ace Bagu was stunned by Buggy's big hands. He looked at Khalifa, and Khalifa had already calculated the money. "Mr. Buggy, according to your request, our preliminary estimated price is 800 million Baileys. If you need the best boatman to build each ship, because our number 1 dock can only build 1 ship at a time, so probably it will take about 6 months to complete," Khalifa said. "Money is not a problem, but time can be rushed, and there must be no quality problems." Buggy glanced at Jhin. Jhin took out a black suitcase knowingly, opened it and it was full of Baileys. "There are 500 million Baileys here, which are regarded as a deposit. I will pay the rest after the construction is completed. In addition, I would like to remind you that I want the best materials." Ace Bagu pondered for a while, and said, "The best building materials for ships are naturally the branches and trunks of the giant tree atom. But one atom's trunk is worth 100 million belly. If every ship is equipped with this, the estimated price may be doubled several times. Of course, the most important thing is that the trunk of the atom treasure tree is hard to come by. We can't guarantee that we can help you collect enough atom tree wood to build 6 ships." Buggy pondered for a moment, then said, "Those 6 boats can be built with wood that is inferior to Adam's treasure tree, but my Tom Belling must use the best." Ace Bagu looked at Khalifa. Khalifa is already calculating new bills. Within 30 seconds, the calculation result came out. If the entire ship is to be built with the wood of the treasure tree atom, then the required price is 1,030 million belly, Khalifa said. "Well, Bailey's not a problem," Buggy repeated again. "Okay, those 6 months. No, our Carrera company will definitely help you build these ships in 5 months, Ace Bagu said happily. Buggy nodded lightly, left the 500 million Bailey and turned to leave. Staying in the capital of 7 waters for 5 months, the summit war is over. But if there is an imperial war, Marine will definitely send warships to pick him up. Don't worry about missing out on this battle. After the deal was concluded, the Carrera company immediately began the ship transformation. Pirate ship after pirate ship was driven into the dock. The 5 foremen of the Carrera company are responsible for the construction of the main components of the ships entering the number 1 dock. Ships entering other docks will have some unnecessary things removed according to the opinions of the various captains. Design some small parts to speed up the construction of ships. Ships began to be built in an orderly manner. Because Tom Belling needs atom wood, it needs to wait for atom wood to be delivered. Now it is still docked on the bank of the capital of 7 waters, standing quietly. Robin is wearing sunglasses and lying on a wooden chair on the deck reading a book. Buggy lay on her side basking in the sun. It takes 6 months to build a ship. There are CP9 in the capital of 7 waters. It's not safe for you to stay here for a long time, Buggy said. Are you going to drive me away, Captain? Robin asked without looking up. Of course not. I just want to ask if you are interested in traveling with me at 15. If you stay here, you will be discovered by CP9 sooner or later, Buggy explained. Robin closed the book. Travel? Just the 2 of us? Yes, interested? Buggy laughed. Robin seemed to be thinking, hesitated for a moment, and said, Okay, I'll go and pack my things. Wait, don't you ask me where I'm going? Buggy asked. Robin stood on the spot and said with a smile, Where the captain is going, I will go there, right? For me, it doesn't matter where I go. Maybe it's not the same. Buggy smiled and told Robin to continue packing. Afternoon, the 2 dressed up briefly, and quietly left here following a merchant ship passing by the capital of 7 waters, disguised as a merchant of common. This merchant ship is very common, a dozen sailors, an old bearded captain, dozens of businessmen of all kinds. There are gentry, there are small-town dreamers, there are common people who carry the hope of a family, and there are even nobles from some small countries. A merchant ship has more than 10 rooms. The sailors lived in 2 very crowded houses, one of which lived in the 89th district. They are all old sailors, but the treatment is very poor. Doing the hardest and most tiring work, but enjoying the lowest return. There are 10 common rooms, and there are nearly 20 common traders living in them. These people are common people with little money. They either run around for their families, or travel far away for their dreams. There are 5 luxurious rooms. These 5 rooms are occupied by captains, nobles, gentry, and rich people like Buggy. Boom boom boom. Mr. Barr, there is a dinner organized by Baron Chells at 8 o'clock in the evening, and I hope you will do me a favor. Ross. Barr is Buggy's pseudonym. You can't use Buggy's name when walking outside. This name is too famous in the Grand Line recently. Buggy doesn't have much confidence in his disguise, and doesn't want to be associated with it. I see, I'll go. The person outside the door was overjoyed. I will be waiting for you on time. Buggy didn't reply. He guessed all sorts of things about what Baron Shears was thinking. It is nothing more than attracting some rich and potential people to develop in their country, or simply because of their money. I want to use some small means to get it. In short, I am not at ease. Squinting at Robin, who was still reading, Buggy asked, Do you want to go together tonight? Robin shook his head. I'm not interested in this kind of thing. I want to stay and read. Okay. Want me to bring you something to eat? Buggy asked again. Robin looked at the empty coffee cup. I think I need some coffee powder. Can I trouble you, Captain? Of course. Buggy chuckled, not caring that his subordinates rejected his invitation and had to help bring things by himself. They are superior subordinate relationships, but not just superior subordinate. Buggy has always been willing to get along with his crew as companions, and there is no absolute superior subordinate attitude. Soon it will be 8 o'clock in the evening. Buggy squeezed his upside-down mustache, pushed the monocle. He tidied up his red wig, put on a pink top hat, and got up in a pink dress and walked towards the banquet hall. This merchant ship is very stingy in the design of the sailor's house, but it is very grand in the banquet hall where the passengers dine. A large bar counter, dozens of tables filled with various food and wine. As long as you are a paid passenger, you can enjoy the same level of food here. Of course, those gentry and nobles still want to be distinguished from the common people, but the chef of this ship is unwilling. He thinks that eating is everyone's common right, and it doesn't make sense that you can eat better things because you are richer and have more status. As long as you can afford it, he can cook the dishes he knows for anyone to eat. When Buggy arrived, the party had just begun. The cost of this dinner was entirely borne by the Baron named Chelsea, so Buggy could come in without paying extra. Many people have already sat down at the dining table, are drinking wine that seems very expensive, are smoking expensive cigars. Some people who can't seem to afford these will also fill a glass of bright red common red wine, and take a sip of it to pretend to be a bit of an elegant person. But in fact, no matter how they act, people like Chelsea can see their disguise. The biggest difference between rich and powerful people is not self-cultivation, gorgeous dresses, or expensive famous cigarettes and wines. It's information in exchange for money and power. They have information about the general information of everyone on this ship, and the reason why they invited Buggy to the dinner party is because they have some information about Buggy. Naturally, they can't find out the hidden identity, but they can still find out if they have money or not. Buggy glanced around, but didn't see the Baron Shears who invited him. It doesn't matter in my heart, and I didn't come here for the appointment. It's just that I just want to eat, so I'll take a look at what that Baron Shears is up to. Buggy randomly found a place to sit down, and began to chop big pieces. It's not as rude as on his own boat, eating in a gentle manner, and Buggy also eats very fast. All of a sudden, Buggy attracted the attention of many people. Some or none of the people present were pretending to be high-class people, but Buggy showed his vulgarity unscrupulously. But despite his vulgar appearance, no one laughed at Buggy. Because they know that Buggy is a rich man. Even if he may become a rich man now, he is still a rich man, isn't he? Those who pretend to be rich have no right to comment on Buggy. Just when Buggy was eating vigorously, a fat man in a black dress came over. Hi, can I sit next to you? The fat man was smiling, looking like a profiteer. Whatever. Buggy ate his own food, but didn't respond to him at all. The man is not annoyed. As a successful businessman, his temper is much better than some men who lick women. My name is Butch, and I'm a fruit merchant. Butch took a bite of a fruit and said. Including the capital of 7 waters, I sell the fruits of more than a dozen surrounding islands. Glanced at Buggy, seeing that he was still unmoved, Butch was a little dumbfounded. Can't take you down. Do you know how I won the right to sell fruit in a dozen surrounding islands? Buggy tilted his head slightly, and seemed to be interested in what Butch said. Butch smiled. This is a secret, and it's not something that can be heard casually. Buggy turned his head away again, his expression was still that indifferent. He is not really in business, who cares about Butch's business methods? Ahem. Butch was a little embarrassed. He thought that Buggy would continue to ask, and then he took advantage of the situation to say his own means to surprise Buggy. If you want to learn, you can join my Grand Line business training class. You can learn real business experience for only 1 million Baileys per person. I'm not short of money. Buggy responded lightly. Ahem. Although you are not short of money, why not do it if you can earn more money? I don't have time for class, and I'm not interested in doing business, Buggy said impatiently. In just a few words, Butch got a few pieces of information. One is that Buggy really has money, lots of money. The second is that Buggy didn't get the money from doing business. There is a high probability that it is inherited from an inheritance, or one of the two situations of picking up a treasure. The third is that he is a man who is easy to be deceived if he is rich and does not understand the principles of business. Hey, it doesn't matter if you don't have time to go to class, and it doesn't matter if you don't want to do business, you can use your money to invest in me. You don't have to do anything to make money while lying. Hey, I gave you the money here, but you turned around and disappeared without a trace. Do you think I'm stupid? Buggy said speechlessly. Mr. Babu, you can inquire about the name of my fruit king, Butch. My industry and my hometown are all public. My reputation is also guaranteed. What is the most important thing in business? It is reputation. Believe me, as long as you invest in me, I can give you 100% investment dividends every year. Return your capital in 1 year, earn twice in 2 years, earn 4 times in 3 years, and earn 8 times in 4 years. Invest in me and make a lot of money, Dr. Babu. Is selling fruit so profitable? Buggy was a little skeptical. You don't understand that, Mr. Bab. I, Butch, have my own way of doing business. How to say? This involves how I got the right to sell fruits on more than a dozen islands. Butch hesitated to speak. Originally it is inconvenient to talk to outsiders about this, but I see that Mr. Babu likes you very much, so I will tell you a thing or two. It is actually very simple to win the right to sell fruits on an island, and it can be summed up in 2 points. 1. Suppress the peers, monopolize the fruit industry of this island through absolute price subsidies, obtain the right to set fruit prices, and solve internal worries. 2. Manage the relationship between black and white in the local area and solve foreign troubles. Monopoly of capital? Buggy was a little surprised. This strategy is also very easy to play in this world. Seeing Buggy's surprised expression, Butch was a little proud. At the same time, he reminded aloud. There are many people who understand the routine, but the actual implementation is different. There are a lot of businesses in this world. Selling weapons, wood and steel, and wine are actually more profitable than selling fruit. Using the same routine, you can get more benefits in these industries, but do you know why I choose to sell fruit? Without waiting for Buggy to speak, Butch explained on his own. The reason is also very simple. One point is that the bigger the business, the more funds need to be invested in the early stage. I don't have that much money. The second point is that the bigger the business, the better the people it needs to manage. Master? It's those nobles, powerful people. The more profitable the business, the less likely it is to leave the sight of these people. If we want to do it, we must manage these people well. I don't have a big enough network, and I can't do a bigger business, so I can only sell fruit. So these businesses are not something you can do if you have money. If you don't have access, you can't even sell fruit. Butch's words are to remind Buggy, don't think that you can do it alone if you have money. Impossible. You have no access. If you want to make a lot of money with the same routine, be careful with your head. Buggy didn't say a word. He was already full and ready to get up to buy some coffee powder and leave. The Chelsea who held the meeting has not come yet. The situation. The protagonist of the party is late. How about it? Are you interested in joining? I have connections and you have money. Why don't we work together to make a lot of money? Thank you. I'm not interested. Buggy said lightly. Don't, Mr. Babu. The upfront investment doesn't need much. 1 billion Baileys is enough. As long as 100 billion Baileys, I can win the fruit-selling schools on 2 more islands. At that time, every year you don't have to do anything to get dividends. 100 million Baileys. The corner of Buggy's mouth twitched. This is not too much investment. Do you know why Chelsea hasn't come yet? Didn't you mean the dinner party? Why didn't he, the master, come? Buggy asked, breaking the subject. It's really strange. It stands to reason that Baron Chels should have appeared long ago. Those of us who stay here are not really hungry, but are waiting for his master. Butch didn't seem to know why. Really, I'm leaving if he doesn't come. Buggy got up and left intentionally. Don't you go now. Wait for Baron Cheers to come, but you will be vengeful. Butch persuaded. What? He's very powerful. Buggy said lightly. It can't be said that it's great, but he still has a lot of skills in his kingdom. Those of us who do business have business in his kingdom, so naturally we want to save him. Butch explained. Then I don't have business in his country, so I don't have to give him face. After all, Buggy went to the bar to get some coffee powder and left the banquet. He wasn't the first to come, but he was the first to leave. Just as he attracted everyone's attention when he first arrived, he also attracted other people's attention when he left. The first man in the field who dared not give face to Baron Shears. Oh no, we haven't finished talking about our investment yet. Butch intentionally stops Buggy, but Buggy has completely left the banquet hall. If he chased him out again, he might have to leave the banquet hall too. He didn't dare not give Baron Shears face. He had a business worth hundreds of millions of Baileys in Baron Shears' kingdom, so he didn't dare to offend him. Back inside, Buggy hands the ground coffee to Robin. Not hungry? Buggy asked. A little. Robin stood up and made himself coffee. If you're hungry, don't tell me earlier, I can bring you something to eat. It's okay, I'll go there by myself later. Mr. Chef should not get off work so soon. Robin laughed. Buggy picked up the newspaper beside him and read it. When you are in the sea, you must always pay attention to the current affairs of the sea. The time for newcomers to board the Saboti archipelago is approaching, and some newcomer pirates with means have begun to show their prominence. Eustace Kidd, captain of the Kidd pirate ship. Deeds: slaughter the island, defeat Colonel Marine, destroy Marine base, and offer a bounty of 330 million Baileys. Kira, a member of the Kidd pirates, has a reward of 162 million Baileys. The Kidd pirate group from South Blue has grown initially, and the bounty has not been affected by the butterfly effect. If nothing else, Kidd is the one with the highest reward in this supernova. Monkey. D. Luffy, the captain of the Straw Hat Pirates. Deeds defeated Colonel Marine Branch, fought against Shicibukai G. Lock Dar. A reward of 100 million Baileys is offered. Among the Straw Hat Pirates, there is still only Luffy offering a reward of more than 100 million yuan, and whether it can be further increased remains to be considered. After all, the original Luffy got a reward of 300 million Baileys for destroying Enies Lobby. Now that Robin is by side, there is no reason for Luffy to go to Enies Lobby. Hawkins, the captain of the Hawkins Pirates. Deeds easily defeated the pirate who offered a reward of hundreds of millions. A bounty of 249 million Baileys is offered. Drake, the captain of the Drake Pirates. Deeds, fallen Marine. A bounty of 222 million Baileys is offered. Trafalgar. Luo, the captain of the Heart Pirates. Deeds, own op fruit. A reward of 200 million Baileys is offered, and he is asked to be captured alive. Skulikman Apu, the captain of the Radio Pirates. Deeds, destroy an island, defeat the Marine Branch Colonel. Capone Beige, captain of the Flame Tank Pirates. Deeds, the former West Blue's largest gang, with brutal methods. A reward of 138 million Baileys is offered. Jewelry Bonnie, the captain of the Bonnie Pirates. Deeds, I do not know. A reward of 140 million Baileys is offered. Rogue, Deeds, I do not know. A reward of 108 million Baileys is offered. If nothing else, this year's supernova will not change except for Straw Hat Crew. Hawkeye Mihawk, Sand. Lock Doll, Gecko Moria, Shang, Empress Boa. Hancock, Haishia Jinbei, Flamingo Doflamingo, Trafalgar, Luo. Almost all Shichibukai have intersected with Luffy. Whether it is a friend or partner, it is an enemy, or a good teacher you have encountered. I don't know if Luffy can grow to the original track without so many bosses. Boom boom boom. A sailor's voice came from outside the door. Mr. Barr, Mr. Captain hopes that you and your partner can come to the deck. What's wrong? Buggy asked. Baron Cheers and his entourage are missing. Some sailors said they heard the sound of things falling into the sea. The captain suspects that someone has committed a crime, so we need to find the murderer. Suspect me as a murderer? No, you misunderstood, Mr. Barr. The captain asked everyone to come out just to help everyone clear the suspicion. I see, I'll go out later. Okay, thank you for your cooperation. Buggy put down the newspaper and looked at Robin. Do you know who did it? Well, it was the captain who killed it, Robin said. Inquiring about information is Robin's specialty, and this merchant ship has no secrets for Robin since he boarded the ship. What's the reason? Vendetta. Robin put down the book. The purpose of asking everyone out this time is to find a scapegoat. After all, he can't bear the charge of killing the Baron of the kingdom. That country is a member country of the government. If he is charged with this crime, the captain can only do it. Pirates. So who is the scapegoat? Buggy speculated with a smile. Robin thought for a while, and said, there is a high probability that it will be us. One is that I did not go to the banquet just now, and you left early, Captain. The other is that our identities are unknown, so we are very suitable to take the blame. Really? Let's wait and see. Buggy didn't expect to encounter a murder case at the beginning of the trip, and he was very likely to become the suspected murderer. Robin got up. Of course not necessarily. After all, it wasn't just Baron Shears who died, but also his entourage. There are quite a few people. If the two of us don't show our strength, there is no possibility. If you want to commit a crime, why is there no excuse? This is his ship, as long as he wants. Anyone can be the murderer, no need to be reasonable. Buggy chuckled, and followed Luo Shi out of the cabin. The deck is already full of people, because someone was killed. Most of the people formed their own small groups with trepidation, hugging each other to keep warm. A few gentry were sitting on chairs, with a few bodyguards standing behind them. They were very calm. Hey, don't you want to investigate the murderer? Then start quickly, don't waste time. A fat man with gold teeth said impatiently. Of course, we can start looking for the murderer when everyone is ready. The Captain Nove is a man with the vicissitudes of life. His face is full of stubble, and his eyes are deep and tired. His expressionless face made it impossible to see his thoughts. The gold-toothed man glanced at Buggy and sneered. Isn't that the one who came last? I think it's better to say that they are the murderers. The case should be finalized and the end should be over soon. Buggy looked at the man with golden teeth. His stern face suddenly became serious, and his eyes became fierce and terrifying. The faint conqueror scares the man with the gold teeth. The lower body is inexplicably moist. Huh? Why does it smell like urine? Several other gentry sitting near the man with gold teeth turned their heads to look, and found that the man with gold teeth had urinated. Damn it, Jinya. What's your nerve? Are you too old to take care of yourself? Equals V. Several people held their noses away from the gold teeth, as if they were avoiding some kind of plague. Jin Ya didn't answer, but said to the bodyguard behind him with a trembling voice, take me to the house. With suppressed smiles on their faces, the bodyguards put up the gold-toothed man and ran into the house. But within 2 steps, Captain Nove stood in front of them. I can't go back now. Let's change my pants after the group's situation is clear, Nove said lightly. What bastard are you saying? Wait until the matter is cleared before changing it. The man with golden teeth blushed, and turned his head to look around, as if everyone was laughing at him. Get out of here. Nuofu didn't speak, just quietly looked at the man with gold teeth, standing in front of him. Finally the man with golden teeth couldn't take it anymore. Knock him down. The bodyguards behind him walked towards Novu with their fists clenched, and they looked like they were menacing and bluffing. Boom. Gunshots rang throughout the deck. The gold-toothed man's bodyguard fell to the ground. Are you crazy? The gold-toothed man took a few steps back in fear. His bodyguard, who spent a lot of money, was about to take out his gun. Bang bang bang. Captain Nove's marksmanship is exceptionally good and fast. The bodyguards were shot and fell to the ground almost at the same time. Nuo Fu looked at Jin Ya coldly, and said indifferently, until the murderer is caught, no one can leave. After warning Gold Tooth, Nove looked at the other people who had guns and had already taken them out to confront him. You can try to kill me. If you kill me, there will be no navigators on the ship. I can't guarantee where this ship will take you. Hearing this, the others hesitated and put away their guns. Anyone on this ship can die, except Nov. He is an old captain and an excellent navigator. Without Nove, they would all die at sea. Knowing everyone's knowledge, Nove also put away the gun. He scanned the crowd, especially at Buggy. Don't be nervous, everyone, I won't kill innocent people indiscriminately. Everyone peeked at the bodies of the fallen bodyguards. Ask yourself, do you believe it? Noticing the eyes of everyone, Nove said, Baron Shears died on my ship. If the murderer cannot be found, I will die. So the method is extreme. Those guys are dead. Why not let them take the blame? We can all testify that it has nothing to do with you, the captain, said a bald old man with missing teeth. That's right. Who cares about Chelsea's death? No one wants to know the truth. Why don't we just push the matter to those dead bodyguards? Someone echoed. Nov looked at the bald old man with missing teeth, and said indifferently, Gussie, do you think the death of Baron Shears can be handled so perfunctorily? And now you speak nicely, who will know when the time comes? Hee, Nuofu, if you think these people can't take the blame, how about adding another gold tooth? Guc squinted at the gold tooth and teased. There should be a business conflict between Gold Tooth and Baron Shears. I remember that he had a batch of gold stopped by Shears in the kingdom of Gumalbao. Nonsense. Nonsense. That batch of gold is my tribute to Baron Shears, and I have no conflict with Baron Shears. Jin Ya was afraid that he would be used as a scapegoat, so he hurriedly found Rat Li, who had a good relationship with him. Li. Let me go back, I will give you 300 caddies of gold. Rat Li looked at Jin Ya with a half smile, 1 meal. 1 meal of gold and I will guarantee you to go back. Lat. If you do this, it's not good for us to blame Chelsea. Guc dissatisfied. Rat didn't answer, still looking at Gold Tooth with a smile. Jin Ya touched his hand, gritted his teeth, and said, okay. Rat laughed, ancient temple, how can you fabricate things without evidence? Received the protection of Rat, Gold Tooth hurried to Rat's side. Guc gave Lutter a cold look, if that's the case, let's find the murderer. Captain Nov, do you have any clues? No, but it can be ruled out first, Nov said lightly. How to rule it out? Someone saw Chelsea leave his room at 8 o'clock, but he didn't show up in the banquet hall afterwards. It took only 2 minutes to go from the cabin to the banquet hall. If anyone has an alibi during this time, he can be ruled out. Many of us are going out to the banquet hall at this time, is this an alibi? Someone asked. No, those who go out at the same time are more suspicious, Nov said lightly. After a while, a group of people chattered away their disgust and stood in the opposite direction of the suspected group of people. Buggy was a few minutes behind that time, but no one could prove his and Robin's alibi. So he is still listed as a suspect. There are a dozen more. Most of the other people went to the banquet hall in advance to give Chelsea face, and went to the designated time, and there were not many people who went late. The suspects now are those bodyguards who don't give Chelsea much face like Buggy, or some accompanying family members who are unwilling to participate in the banquet. Some women, old and young, were shaved among these people, and hot girls like Robin were still kept among the suspects. Killing Cheers and his entourage silently was probably not done by one person alone. Therefore, some people who have no strength and no group should be eliminated. In the end, there were only 6 people left. Robin and Buggy occupy 2 positions, and the other 4 are in a group. The 4 were Rat Lee's bodyguards and said they were playing cards in the room at the time. There is no alibi, and he has the power to complete the assassination of Chelsea. It's not what you ordered, is it, Lat? Guc taunted Lolly in a strange manner. Let you protect this Gold Tooth, it's burning yourself. It can't be done by my subordinates. That man and that woman are very suspicious, and a few bodyguards of this guy Gold Tooth are dead. Maybe they don't have an alibi, and they will have a chance do something like this. The fire burned to his body, and Rat Lee was a little flustered. If it was actually done by his subordinates in the end, what would his boss say? Is it behind the scenes? He doesn't want to be the one who takes the blame. He would rather betray his promise and sell his Gold Tooth. Lat Lee. You. Gold Teeth itched angrily, but it was Lat's kick that greeted him. Go away. Don't try to drag me into the pit. Jin Ya's obese body rolled a few times to the crowd, and was surrounded by people. Seeing that everyone was looking at him, Jin Ya panicked even more. I didn't do it. It can't be me. I have no grievances with Baron Cheers, why should I kill him? Captain Nov, you believe me. Besides, there is no evidence now, so you won't believe what they say, right? They just want me to take the blame, and it is absolutely impossible for me to kill someone. Seeing his gold teeth humbly begging for himself, Nov was unmoved. He looked up at the cloudy sky. Don't worry, someone will take the blame, and you don't need to take the blame. Someone carry it. Is it the man and woman? Great. I knew it. No. Nov walked slowly to the side of the boat, putting his hand on the boat. You don't need to take the blame, because I killed people. What? What do you mean by that? Nov. Everyone looked at Nov in disbelief, expecting an explanation. But there was no explanation. Nov took a deep leap and disappeared on the deck. People want to run to sea. A thunderbolt frightened them. I looked up at the sky, only to find that at some point there were already dark clouds rolling in the sky, and a rainstorm was about to begin. That guy never wanted to find a scapegoat from the beginning. He wanted all of us to die here from the beginning. Buggy, who has good sailing knowledge, saw Nov's plan at a glance. Robin, let's go. Buggy grabbed Robin's hand and kicked into the air. After a while, there was an explosion on the deck. It turned out that Nov had already buried explosives below the deck. The purpose was to make the ship completely sink into the sea during the storm. Let everyone die at sea. When Nov goes back, he can continue to find a new ship to be his captain. And about the death of Baron Shears, no one cared at all. Because he was in a shipwreck, and everyone on the ship died in the storm. Only Tanov escaped by chance. No one will know that Chelsea's died at the hands of others. On a lonely boat, Captain Nov and a young sailor were mechanically rowing the oars. The joy of getting revenge has long been expressed at the moment they killed Shears, and what they have now is only the guilt of killing innocent people. A sailor companion who has sailed together for several years, an uncle chef with superb cooking skills and enthusiasm. Those companions who lived with them for many years were all killed together because of their revenge. Killed by them. Look out, Nog, if we don't kill them, then we'll have to hide and hide for the rest of our lives. It's okay for me to be old, but you are still young. If you are charged with murder, you can only become a pirate in the future. Although he was advising, Nov's expression was dull. His pale face and red, dark circles around his eyes gave him a morbid appearance, but it made his consoling words less convincing. Hey, father, where are we going next? Nog smiled wryly. If Shears hadn't killed his mother and his father's wife, he would never have done such an outrageous thing with his father. Go to Sri Nelson. That country has just gone through a war, and a lot of ruins are waiting to be rebuilt. We can make a comeback there, Nov said. I remember that there was a plague in that country. Is it safe to go now? Don't worry, the plague has long passed. It is said that a very powerful female doctor came to solve the plague and rescued tens of thousands of people. Is there such a powerful doctor in the world? Nuoqigao inexplicably admired this female doctor. Father, is that doctor still in Sling Nelson? Nuofu glanced at his son and said with a serious smile, I don't know. Oh. Nog was a little disappointed. It is normal for a young man to be attracted to a capable legendary woman. But his father, Nuofu, who has gone through everything, will not feel this kind of heartbeat. He admires him the most, but he has absolutely no desire to covet him. Nog, the more great and beautiful a woman is, the harder it is for her to accompany you for the rest of your life. When we are looking for a partner, we should never only covet the first half of her life, but should also look forward to the second half of your life. After a long silence, Nov said again, the more powerful a man is, the less he will put his love for women in front of some things. You have to know that what women pursue is a harbor that can be blessed, not a sailing ship that goes forward bravely. No matter how strong a warrior is, if he chooses to put love first, he will no longer be brave, and he will also lose the courage to move forward. Nog was puzzled. I don't understand what it means, father. Do you want to lose your career if you love someone? No. What my father meant was to love someone and make that person love you more. Nov looked at the darkness in the distance. The woman a brave man wants to pursue must not start and end with her beauty and greatness. Yes, the woman a brave man should pursue should start and end with her knowledge, understanding, and companionship. Conquering a woman begins with one's own bravery and ends with one's own bravery. Remember, son, I didn't say you can't give everything for love, let alone let you down. I just told you that a brave man who moves forward can only find someone who is willing to accompany you, look at you, and wait your woman. Nuoqigao was thoughtful, vaguely understanding. Nov didn't explain it anymore. The truth has been told to future generations long ago. But knowing is one thing, understanding is another. If you don't feel the greatest pain, how can you say, I understand the pain in this world better than anyone else? The boat sailed for a few more minutes. When Nuoj and Nuofu were bored, a man and a woman fell from the sky. The man has red hair, wears a pink dress, a pair of upturned beards, and a very elegant monocle. The woman was wearing a long purple dress, her long hair fluttered backwards with the wind, and her beautiful and moving face was somewhat cold and familiar. This woman is so beautiful. After hearing his father's truth, Nuoj became more curious about women. What does a great and beautiful woman look like? In the sea? Or in Sling Nelson? No, in sight. I'm sorry. There is really no place to stay nearby, so I can only temporarily live on your boat. Do you have any objections? Buggy's smirking face is full of danger. Nov feels insecure even with a gun in his hand. He really wanted to raise his gun and shoot Buggy and the woman, but for some reason he felt that the gun was no threat to the man in front of him. If he draws his gun hastily, the dead must be himself and Nuoj. Turning his head to look at Nuoj, he found that this kid was fascinated by women. That's right. What I said just now was in vain. Some people he is not destined to be a brave man. He Nov is a man without courage, and neither will his son. Thinking that his son was destined to have a great career in the future, his originally dead face became even paler. You can do whatever you want. Nov put the gun away. Marine 6 Moonwalk. He has sailed for more than 10 years, and he still has this vision. The man in front of me is either a mighty marine or a mighty pirate. Guns pose no threat to these people. Thank you. Buggy smiled lightly, then pulled Robin to a corner and sat down with his eyes closed. Nog was still staring at Robin, and Nov punched Nog on the head angrily. If you look at it, you will know how to look at women. What a worthless thing. Nuoj covered his head with an aggrieved expression on his face. See what happened to the woman. Did the woman eat your meat, or did she steal your food? Besides, the beauties didn't say anything. These Nuoj only dare to think in their hearts. If they really dared to slander their father like this, he would inevitably get a few more punches. Because of Buggy's arrival, the boat fell into an eerie silence. Nov was very nervous. He touched his trouser legs and glanced at Buggy from time to time. It seems that there is some contradictory inner struggle in the heart. Norg's eyes glanced at Robin from time to time, with admiration hidden in his eyes and fear of his father. He was afraid that his behavior would be discovered by his father, and then he would be scolded again. But how can his clumsy behavior be hidden from Nov? It's just that he has a lot of things to take into account now, and he doesn't have time to waste his thoughts on small things. Buggy and Robin are not as thoughtful as the Novs. Whether it's a vendetta or a shipwreck, none of this has anything to do with them. As long as the other party doesn't offend them, they will just pass by and don't bother to answer. Unknowingly, the wind blew louder. The rolling waves pushed the boat up and down. This turbulent boat seems to be capsized by wind and waves at any time. Nov was in a hurry, and Nog was not in the mood to continue looking at Robin. The two kept doing something, as if they wanted to save the boat in distress. It's just that their strength is too small when facing the disaster of the 15th sea. With all their strength, they can barely keep the boat from capsizing in the wind and waves. Looking at the broken merchant ship in the distance, it has been swept into the tide of the sea, and the 100-meter-long merchant ship looks so small in the face of natural disasters. In a blink, swallowed into the sea by the tide, a few embarrassed humans can still be seen struggling with blood. It's all the work of Nov and Nog. Looking at Buggy and Robin on the boat, they were calm in the face of the storm, as if they didn't take this natural disaster into consideration at all. Mr. Barr, if we can't break through this storm, we may be sucked into the tide and die together, Nov said anxiously. Seeing that Buggy was still unmoved, Nov said again, even if you can use your steps to walk through the air, do you guarantee that you will not be exhausted before reaching the next island? Taking 10,000 steps back, even if you have enough physical strength, but if we die, you will not be able to accurately locate the next island. I am a navigator, you must need my help if you want to survive to the next island. Buggy finally opened his eyes, and he looked at Nov without saying a word. The next second the thunder flashes in the hand. A thunder dragon heaven defying soars into the sky. Rumble. The clouds seem to be blown apart, and the originally violent storm stopped suddenly. The sun penetrates through the clouds, the light seemed to hope, telling them that they had escaped. Nuofu and Nuoj stared blankly at the light in the sky, and the sight of the Brontosaurus breaking through the sky seemed to still shock their visual nerves. Is that really something humans can do? Nog murmured. Nuofu put away all his little thoughts, and pulled Nuoj to bow his head and row silently. Buggy is stronger than he thought. Even without this ship, without him and Nog, Buggy and the others can survive safely. The only value of their existence is to save Buggy some effort. Buggy looked at Nov, who was rowing honestly, and suppressed a trace of impatience. In fact, even if Buggy didn't make a move, the storm wouldn't capsize the boat. Since Nuofu dared to take his son to take risks, he has absolute confidence. And the reason why he just said that he can't do it without him is nothing more than wanting to show his flaws in rowing. This Nov is completely different from his name, and he has a lot of guts. Even knowing that Buggy is a strong man he can't provoke, he still hasn't let go of his determination to kill him. The Brontosaur's method just now was a warning. If Nov thought carefully again, he would rather let Robin row the boat than send these two guys to die. The boat floats with the wind. Nov looked at the record pointer in his hand and constantly adjusted the boat's orientation. A salty cool breeze blows from the sea after the storm. The cool wind hit the faces of the four people, making them look tired inadvertently. Sleepy. If you're sleepy, I can lend you my shoulder. Buggy looked at Robin beside him and smiled. Robin refused with a smile. No need, Captain, I have a solution. Talking about Robin making hand gestures, a hand appeared out of thin air from the boat behind to support Robin's body. She can rest on this hand. Buggy saw the hand behind her, and said enviously, would you mind giving me a hand? Robin turned to look at Buggy, silent. Although this flower hand is transformed by her ability, it is the real touch of her hand, and it can even communicate with her body. She supports Buggy with her ability, which is equivalent to waiting for. Although there is hesitation, has refusal, she used her ability to create a hand behind Buggy to support Buggy's back. Buggy leaned down slowly. The weight of his body was completely pressed on Robin's soft hands, and the inexplicable comfort made Buggy moan. If you don't mind, can you create another Geo for me to rely on? The lying Buggy got cheap and acted like a good boy, but in exchange for Luoshi's silence. Your hand is already at its limit, do you still want to touch Geo? At this time, Nuoj had fallen asleep, and Nuofu was half asleep and half awake guarding Nuoj. He was afraid that if he lost his mind, he would be killed by Buggy. Although the possibility of this is very low, after all, he can't resist Buggy's power at all, and the opponent doesn't need to attack him if he wants to kill him, but he will still be nervous. Even if he couldn't stop him, he still hoped to stand in front of his son when he was in danger. The light shines on the blue sea. The sparkling and colorful underwater scene deep in the bottom of the sea makes people feel happy. Buggy was feigning sleep, fishing with a fishing rod made of something. There is no bait on the fishing line. Buggy seems to think of himself as Mr. Zhang. Expect to fall to the big fish. At the bottom of the sea, a woman with green hair is picking up beautiful shells. This woman has a beautiful and cute face, and a slender upper body wearing a blue starfish blouse. The upright bear looks sexy to women. If this woman is a human being, she is afraid that the men in the village will break through her house. Only she is not human. She has a beautiful pink scale tail, and the strong scale tail swings to propel her to swim freely in the sea. There are a lot of beautiful shells here. Next time, I will bring my master along. If I pick up these shells and make them into clothes, many mermaids will definitely like them. Kami thought happily when suddenly a thin line of white crossed her forehead. Huh. What is this? On the boat, Captain. Do you think if you catch a sea kings, will it swallow us? How could there be sea kings in this place? Before the words fell, the fishing line in Buggy's hand suddenly straightened, and a huge pulling force came from under the sea. Could it be that Robin really hit it off? With some doubts, Buggy pulled the rod hard, and a big fish leapt out of the sea driving the waves. This fish is like a sea snake, with brown skin, thick eyebrows and big eyes, very spiritual. But it is huge, about 20 meters. The body shape is not as good as sea kings, but it is indeed a weird fish. Buggy flew up and knocked the fish out with a punch to prevent the fish from making a fuss on the boat and capsizing the boat. Help! Help! This sudden sound of help seemed to come from the belly of the fish. Unsure, Buggy listened again. It really is. Someone was swallowed by a fish, and he happened to be caught by him. G felt that this person must be extremely unlucky and super moving. Lift the belly of the fish with one hand, and the snow walks across gently. The slash instantly cut a big hole in the fish's stomach. Blood, viscera, and organs of various fish in the large and small intestines rushed into the sea, staining the surface of the sea red. Ah! With a scream, a woman with green hair and a beautiful red fishtail filled the sea together. Mermaid. Thank you for saving me, my name is Kami. Kami thanked Buggy while swimming out of the bloody sea. You're welcome. Why are you in the belly of a fish? Kami said angrily. I was picking shells in the sea, and it swallowed me. He said how he caught the fish without bait. It turned out that it was this worm that was often eaten by fish. Presumably the other party happened to be near my fishing line, and then the fishing line was swallowed by the big fish together with Kami. Are you hurt? If it's okay, go home quickly. Although Buggy intends to recruit a Murloc crew, Kami is not his ideal type. She's too weak, and it's useless to join her pirate team. A qualified Murloc partner should know Murloc karate, be able to swim 100 meters per second in the sea, and be able to single out Shicibukai without being weak. No injuries, thank you, I don't have anything valuable, these shells are for you as a thank you gift. Kami said that she put the shells she picked up with great difficulty on their boat. The colorful Madara shells look very beautiful, but they are not worth anything at first sight. Buggy thought for a while without refusing, and picked up the shell. Seeing that the benefactor accepted her gift, Kami was very happy. Benefactor, what's your name? You can find me in Murloc Street when you are free, and I can take you on a tour of the Fishmen Island. Buggy. Buggy didn't hide his identity, and traveled to hide his identity to prevent confusion. Now there are only 2 people on board, and Buggy is not afraid of them talking everywhere. Buggy, Buggy. After chanting a few words, Kami seemed to remember it in her heart. Okay, Nappa Jhin, if you have a chance, you must come to the Fishmen Island to play with me, goodbye. Goodbye. Seeing Kami plop into the sea, a trace of disappointment flashed in the eyes of Nov and his son. They have only heard of the existence of mermaids in more than 10 years of sailing on the sea, but they have never seen them. If it weren't for the Murloc auctions in Sabaody from time to time, they thought it was just a legendary. This mermaid is worth 100 million, Nov sighed. If we can catch it, we'll have nothing to worry about for decades to come. Although there is a great desire in their hearts, how dare they see that Buggy doesn't move? Mr. Bar, do you know the value of that mermaid? Nov couldn't help but ask. Although he heard Bar call himself Buggy, he didn't point it out. He left from the capital of 7 waters, so he naturally knows the name of Buggy in the capital of 7 waters. Tang Shichibukai actually pretended to travel, not knowing where the destination was, but he would never talk too much about asking these deadly questions. If I'm short of money, I'd rather kill a 100 million pirate than be a despicable human trafficker, Buggy said flatly. Human? Is Mr. Bar definitely a mermaid? Nov was a little surprised. In the eyes of most people, mermaids are terrifying existences. They are monsters where fish in person failed. It turns out that there are fish and people, which completely broke Nov's cognition. Buggy gave him a cold look, making him as cold as if he had fallen into an ice cellar. I don't want to hear you asking these idiotic questions again. A fish is more human than both of you morally. After 2 people killed someone, they assassinated a whole boatload of people for their own future. These 2 people are insane murderers on Blue Star. But here on the Grand Line, this kind of thing is not uncommon on the sea. If you kill someone today, it is normal for you to be killed tomorrow. Yes, I see, Mr. Bar. Nov was sweating coldly on his forehead, and he rowed the oars harder to hide his inner anxiety. Why is he talking too much? Isn't it just 100 million Baileys? Although he has never seen it, he has heard a lot after attracting so many wealthy businessmen. It's all small money. Seeing that Nov was calm, Buggy stopped talking to him. Looking at Robin at the side, even in this situation, he still read the book without changing his expression. She was also slightly surprised when the mermaid appeared, but only slightly. She has been wandering the Grand Line for more than 10 years, so she has seen a lot. You might have seen a murloc somewhere. Is there anything you like? Buggy showed Robin the shell Kami gave him. Robin looked at the shell in Buggy's hand and was really interested. After choosing carefully, she picked a fan-shaped shell with a dull color and flower-shaped patterns. Buggy made a small hole in the shell and threaded it through with a red thread he found somewhere. Shell necklace. Shall I help you put it on? Buggy asked tentatively. Okay. Robin smiled and didn't refuse. Run your hands through Robin's hair, and Buggy's face is a few centimeters away from Robin's. Black hair brushed Buggy's nose. The good smell rushed into Buggy's nose, making him nostalgic. Alright. Buggy didn't stay on purpose, and quickly tied the rope and retreated. Robin picked up the shell necklace and looked at it. It's very pretty. The main thing is that people are good looking. Buggy laughed. Robin was noncommittal. The Fishmen Island has a piece of history text. Let's go there when the ship is built. Buggy said suddenly. The Fishmen Island. Robin was a little surprised, wondering why Buggy knew so much information about the historical text. Alabasta, Sky Island. It has been difficult for her to find a piece of historical text for more than 10 years, and it seems easy to follow Buggy. Is this because I found the right partner? Robin thought of the Marine Vice Admiral who died for himself, and had some guesses in his mind. But Buggy has a loving desire for himself. Is this a pure companion? Robin remained skeptical, but gradually recognized Buggy in his heart. Okay. A week later, their boat staggered to Sling Nelson. Docking in silent ports, there are not many people in the huge port. Under the double torment of war and plague, this country has lost its vitality. The war has disturbed people's hearts and swept away people's money and lives. The plague took away countless lives and frightened outsiders. Although the war is now over, the plague has been resolved. But it will take a long time for people outside to accept it. Who knows if there will be another war? Who knows if the plague will come again? Without 10 or 8 years, it is hard for others to believe that the plague in this country has been solved. They don't want to be infected inexplicably. You must know that even the doctor who solved the plague doesn't mean that he can cure everyone. After getting off the boat, Buggy and Nov and his son separated. They headed for the entrance to the country's nearest port city, the Black Rope. Nuofu and his son bypassed them and walked towards the forest, not knowing what their plan was. Hello. Entering the city. Wear a mask. 2 soldiers at the city gate handed Buggy and Robin 2 masks. Obviously the plague has not been completely resolved. At least there is no perfect solution, and there is a possibility of rebound. Buggy and Robin took the masks made of cloth, paid 100 Baileys, and walked into the city. 100 Baileys for a mask. This country is so poor that everyone wants to squeeze wool. As the port city of this country, there are not many people in the city. 3 or 2 people passed by, each at a distance of 5 or 6 meters. There are not many vendors setting up stalls. There is 1 vendor every 10 meters. Or sell fruit, or sell game vegetables. There are also a few who sell weapons and ores. It's just that these shops have no business. There are too few people, and it is difficult to do business. Sir, do you want to buy some fruits? These are our special products in Slina. You can't buy them outside. It tastes super sweet and very fragrant, definitely a delicacy you can't miss. Watching this vendor holding an onion-like fruit and talking to himself. Buggy was a little skeptical, but thought how much Bailey would it cost to buy a piece of fruit? So he bought some. For 1,000 Baileys, Buggy bought a bag of 10. An average of 100 Baileys, a bit expensive. Peel off the thin skin to reveal the snow-white flesh. Looks good. Buggy praised and gave Robin the first one. Robin took a small bite and chewed a few times. His expressionless expression made it impossible to guess what the taste of the fruit was. Is tasty? Buggy asked. If we eat one whole, I think we'll turn into onion freaks. Robin commented lightly, then took another bite. Onion? The skin of this fruit is similar to that of an onion, so it should not be an onion, right? Ignoring Robin's strange words about turning into an onion freak. Half believing, Buggy dialed one for himself, and bit it down. The smell of onion spilled out of his mouth along with the juice. Hey guys, onion pears. The plucked flesh of this fruit is very similar to Sydney, but it does not have the sweetness of inherited Sydney. looking at the remaining 8 fruits in the bag. Buggy felt like crying. It's just that I bought the fruit myself, and I have to eat it after gritting my teeth. Robin didn't like this taste, so he ate the remaining 8 layers by himself. Because of being fooled by this fruit vendor, when there are other vendors selling their own products. No matter how hype they said, Buggy didn't buy any more. Before a tavern, it seems that no matter what the country has become, there will never be a shortage of taverns. Jess Tavern. I don't know if the boss here has a hammer that can turn into a cannon. Mumbling to themselves, Buggy and Robin walked into the tavern. A glass of whiskey and a pineapple pie. I'd like a sandwich and a glass of hot milk, thank you. Compared to the other pirates around, Buggy and Robin are outrageously polite. There are 5 or 6 tables in the whole Jess bar. 3 of the tables are seated. A bearded and one-eyed man was at the first table, surrounded by a few boys wearing turbans, drinking very rough. 2 men with guns in their waists were at the second table. Their eyes flicked to the men at the first table from time to time. The third table is a group of people wearing uniform gray clothes. Some of them hold knives, some of them hold guns. They don't look like pirates, but they don't look like gangsters either. When talking, they are completely chatting like common people, without knowing where they come from. The arrival of Buggy and Robin did not attract too much attention from the 3 tables. I just took a few glances and continued to work on my own affairs. The owner of the bar is a man with a mustache, not a mature man like Hammer Jess. What about his appearance? It's hard to describe. As long as a woman's hair, short eyebrows. Dan Fengyan. There is a high bridge of the nose, but it is not perfect, and it is strange that it is skewed at some angles. The mouth fell on his slender face in a normal way. The overall image is an ugly man with a wretched temperament. But the great contrast is, this man's voice is extremely charming, especially gentle and rich. Well, how should I put it, a deep feeling. Whiskey and milk. Jess put the wine and milk in front of the 2, pineapple pie and sandwiches will wait for a while. Thank you. Buggy and Robin Kaido politely, then drank their whiskey and milk. You're welcome. Jess smiled slightly. It can be seen that he has tried his best to show his tenderness, but that not so good-looking face really hinders his tenderness. Looking at Jess, who was going to make pineapple pie and sandwiches, Robin said seriously, it's better to hire a chef who is good at making desserts. Since Ponte went aboard the Alvida, he hasn't had a real cook on board. Although Punt will also pull a group of chefs to cook their food every day, but, after all, he is not on his own boat. Sometimes Robin wanted to have some afternoon tea, but he couldn't tell Punt to do it immediately. Buggy took a serious look at Jess. Except for the gentleness in his actions and tone, this man has no merits. After a while, pineapple pie and sandwiches were served. Please enjoy. Robin and Buggy each took a bite of their own food. It tastes good. Buggy praised, thank you. Jess nodded with a smile, and then began to wipe the glass by himself. Everything around seems to have nothing to do with him. Buggy eats pineapple pie, pulls out a Bailey's and puts it on the table. Say something about this country. Jess took Bailey into the counter as usual. Sir, you haven't paid for your drinks yet. A little embarrassed to pay Jess for the food. Ahem, of course I remember. Jess chuckled and didn't care. What do you want to know? Politics or legendary? Or news about that beautiful female doctor? Can you tell me all about it? Buggy said casually. Jess pondered for a moment, as if he was wondering where to start. Then let's talk about historical and political affairs first. I think the 2 of you who came from afar must not be here for tourism, pirates? Buggy looked at Jace while drinking his whiskey, but didn't answer him. Apparently he didn't mean to satisfy Jace's curiosity. Seeing this, Jess did not continue to speculate. Slinelson is a very large ore exporter, and this country has a very rare ore called black gold. Black gold is not real gold but a black stone that can be used to make weapons. Because this stone has brought a lot of wealth to the country, it is called a stone comparable to gold by the local people, and because of its black hair bright, so called black gold. This black gold is used to make weapons. What weapons? It is also black. Buggy inevitably thinks of another black weapon, Hailu, Shi. Cannonballs and bullets are common resources for pirates and marines in this world, and black gold is not worried about not being able to sell them. On the contrary, as much as there is, the world can digest as much. Not sea stone. Buggy lost interest in this kind of stone. Continue to listen intently to Jace. Because of the wireless demand for black gold, this country is also caught in the mine of unrestricted mining. Although Sri Nelson is a very mountainous country, it can't stand people's exploitation like this. Mountains have been hollowed out, and the whole of Sri Nelson has completely changed in just 10 years. The mountains and forests were destroyed, the beasts died, and the originally vibrant country began to feel a little dead. At this time, people realized that something was wrong, but in the face of huge interests, no one was willing to stop until that incident occurred. The incident? Shanshanshan incident. About 5 years ago, after the national mining team blew up the mountain, they let countless miners risk mining without ensuring safety, resulting in several acres of miners being crushed to death by mountain cloth. That incident triggered nationwide protests. People can sacrifice the environment for money, but not life. I regard the people of my own country as slaves and mine ore for them, but the king of this country doesn't care, and says in a superior manner, "It's none of my business, it's not like I'm the one who died." The people of this country have been ignited with anger. If His Highness Ji hadn't stood up and promised to give the people an explanation, the war would have come 2 years sooner. Who is Your Highness Ji? Buggy ate the pineapple pie. I don't know if it's because it's so delicious, but the plate is empty, and there's not a single crumb left. Ji Bobraze is the second younger brother of the current king, J. Bobraze. Second brother? So there is a third brother? Hearing Buggy's question, the one-eyed bearded pirate who had been drinking and drinking suddenly said, "The third brother is called He. Bubbles. It's okay for you to be in the black rope. This is His Royal Highness Ji's territory. If you are in Shan Yi, you can be careful not to offend H. Bubbles. That guy is so powerful that he doesn't look like a human being, he's like a monster." Buggy turned to look at the bearded man. "Who are you?" "There are people in this grand line who don't know our captain. Our captain is the one-eyed Russ who is called Pirate Meteor, and has a bounty of 15 million Baileys." "Stupid." The one-eyed man slapped his little brother on the head hard. "Who told you to mention Lousie's eyes? Didn't Lousie say that you were not allowed to mention Lousie's eyes?" "I'm sorry, Captain, I forgot." The little brother's aggrieved look didn't look like a pirate at all, but looked like the daughter-in-law of an old man's family. "HMPH, be more careful next time. If you dare to mention Lousie's eyes again, I won't take you out for a drink." Ruth has a vicious look on his face, but there is nothing vicious in his behavior. Ordinary vicious pirates would not just be punished for not drinking when their subordinates said Nylon. The original Buggy is, whoever dares to raise a red nose in front of him will definitely go in with a red knife and come out with a white knife. "Is this H. Bubbles good?" Buggy asked. Ruth turned his head around, picked up a bottle of beer and took a sip. "That's right. That H. Bubbles is simply inhumanly strong. He can stand up to thousands of troops by himself. If it wasn't for him, His Highness Ji has already driven that Jabables out of power." Asterisk. Judging from your tone, it seems that you are on the side of G. Bubbles? Buggy asked curiously. "Why, aren't you a pirate?" "Slinelson is my hometown. Although I went to sea and became a pirate, I still can't understand that Jebulus. What do you think of us? Slaves. This kind of king who doesn't care about people's lives at all should die." Seeing Ruth's angry face, Buggy was a little amused. From this brief exchange, Buggy felt that Ruth's personality was somewhat similar to the existence of Luffy's gang. The naive pirates are rather sea travelers. Russ didn't look like someone who went to sea for plunder or for status. He's like the kind of guy who goes to sea after something. It's only because of his average ability and background that he did so poorly. But 15 million is not a lot in the 4 seas, Buggy thought. Russ is right. His Royal Highness he is very powerful. His Royal Highness Ji's army can be killed by a single person with a single spear. Only the Mountain God and His Highness Ji can suppress 1 or 2 of them. Mountain God? Buggy keenly captured the word. The name of the Mountain God is Bullo, a deity who was born in the Mountain God Mountain. He was enraged by Jababulus's unrestricted mining of mountain rocks and awakened from the Mountain God Mountain to stir up the banner of rebellion. He is the leader of His Royal Highness Ji's rebel army, and he is also the soul of the rebel army. It is because of the existence of the mountain god that people have the courage to attack the powerful king's army, and dare to overthrow the rule of Jababels. Is this mountain god a person, or something? Although he heard that this mountain god was a creature born in the mountain god mountain, Buggy was still incredulous. Is it something like the pirate ship spirit? But the ship spirit cannot leave the ship, at most it can control its own actions. Is this mountain god a mountain that can move by itself? Imagining that scene is indeed a bit shocking. Jess pondered for a moment, and said, Blow is a stone man who can turn into a child. A stone man who can become a child equals a child who can become a stone man. So this so-called mountain god may not be the existence born of Yamanaka at all, but a child who ate devil fruit. Didn't you think he might just be the one who ate devil fruit? Robin said bluntly. Jess wiped his wine glass and said with a chuckle, So what? People want to believe that he is the mountain god. Someone must know that Buluo is a child who ate devil fruit, but no one will expose him. When people in the whole country are still filling their lives in unscrupulous minds, when everyone is afraid of the king when he was in power, he stood up in Shanshanshan. It seems like yesterday when he shouted in despair and anger, Are you still willing to see this country devastated? After hearing this, Buggy probably knows what's going on in this country. Probably it was because the king arbitrarily collected money regardless of the lives and interests of the people, which aroused people's dissatisfaction. A child named Bullo became the fuse that triggered the war in this country. The war has been fought for 3 years, and it seems that it is not over yet. It's just that the impact of the plague was too great, and the two sides stopped for a while. This is different from what the father and son said. The news that the father and son inquired was that the country had ended the war. He looked over Jess meaningfully. This bar owner seems to know a lot of things. Doesn't appear to be a common bar owner. Bang, bang. There were 2 gunshots outside the door, followed by a rough male voice. Let your pirate meteor disappear like a meteor today, Russ. Ruth? Buggy turned his head to look at the bar table. The pirate Russ had left at some point. The 2 people at the other table also disappeared. 2 little pirate hunters want to take my Ruth's head? Go to hell. Bang bang bang. There was another burst of gunfire outside the door. After a while the gunfire stopped, and the 2 pirate hunters died. Buggy's knowledge remembered the breath of life of several people, so he knew that the 2 pirate hunters were dead without going out to sea. There are a lot of pirates in this place, and there are also a lot of pirate hunters, so this kind of thing happens from time to time. Pirates kill hunters, hunters kill pirates. It's as interesting as a law in this world. Jess chuckled and put away the wine glass that had been wiped over and over again. So what else is there to hear? I think you'll be interested in the woman doctor who saved the country. Seeing Jess' expectant eyes, Buggy gave him another Bailey very sensibly. The corners of Jess' mouth could not be suppressed, and he put Bailey into the cash drawer. The doctor's name is Talia Mel, a beautiful woman who looks to be in her early 20s. By the way, she is a pirate and was offered a reward of 40 million Baileys by Marine. Pirate female doctor? Which pirate group does she belong to? Mel Pirates. She is hungry alone. Jess Yi-ping laughed mockingly. A one-man pirate group? Did she get a bounty for something she did before? Robin somehow felt the same way. I don't know, you have to ask her about this. It's just that Marine offered a bounty to someone, no matter what the reason, she is a pirate. Jess said regretfully. Mel has saved countless people in this country, and in Jess's eyes, he is a hero. But just such a hero was offered a bounty by Marine for some unknown reason. After inquiring about the news, after grabbing another bottle of wine, Buggy and Robin left Jess' bar. Before leaving, Buggy sent Jess an invitation to join the company. Anyway, the pineapple pie was very delicious, so Buggy wanted to invite him to be the chef. But was rejected by Jess. Jess has no intention of becoming a pirate, so Buggy can only leave regretfully. And the guests in gray clothes at the last table in the tavern didn't know when they would leave, and they were replaced by a new group of strange pirates. At this time, the black rope has already entered the night. In the dark night, the city is extraordinarily quiet. Except for the occasional noise of war between pirates, only the moon can add excitement to this city. Night Owl Buggy can't sleep. After spending 2 hours at the accommodation with Robin, we returned to Jess' tavern. The Jess Tavern at night is much more lively. Not to mention that all 5 tables were full of people, the other small stools and standing places were also crowded with many people. Buggy didn't want to pass the time in such a crowded place, so he only planned to leave with 2 bottles of wine. Business is good, Jess. Jess was busy, turned his head and saw Buggy greeted. It's okay, what do you want? 2 bottles and 2 pineapple buns. I want a sandwich. Hold on. Because there are a lot of customers, Buggy and the others may have to wait a little longer at the bar. In his free time, Buggy started to call people in the bar again. A table of gorgeously dressed gentlemen who look like pirates. A table of sexy girls, women wearing leather clothes and holding whips. A table of pirates headed by a chubby man in a blue and white striped shirt. They looked very socially afraid to drink without saying a word. The remaining 2 tables were filled with people in gray clothes, but they were different from the group in the afternoon. It seems that these uniformed people are some kind of power in this city. Pineapple buns and sandwiches are ready. The whiskey was put together, and it was 1,000 Baileys. Buggy paid the bill, turned around and left with Robin. Others in the tavern looked at Buggy and Robin who left, and whispered for a while. That man is like Shicibukai. The woman at the table with sexy girls asked first. It's really similar, but his clothes are very strange, like a businessman. The chubby man interjected. Just ask Jess, they seem to know each other. The gentleman in the black suit looked at the bartender Jess. Jess smiled and said nothing. Don't ask me, I don't know, but what is certain is that he will not be a businessman. Several people looked at Jess seriously. They didn't know if Jess was telling the truth, or if he was trying to hide something. Just because you're well informed in a bar doesn't mean you'll get real news. Besides, you haven't paid yet. After a while, people in 2s and 3s left the bar. It seems that Shichibukai's name makes them uneasy.